Everyone trying to lock down their position now in a 3-on-5. They know a multi-kill can get them back in this round. Shiro goes searching. Frozen in place are Luminosity. Will Spirit walk into their crosshairs? They don't look like they want to. Tania starts to move into middle, and this is a death trap. Multiple players around the corner, and that's good timing. Lux finds the kill. A site open for business.
You kind of hope a round like this can get you into the rhythm of the game a little bit more, right? You get your openers with a nice little tempo change. It's a Zuu double entry out towards mid. You instantly call the freeze as well to not let that get interesting, and it works out perfectly. 5 alive at the end of it.
That's
just
true.
Nice to, because in that 5-on-3, you're still feeling a good deal of anxiety. You've seen Tania aggressive over at main. You know what Spirit are capable of as individuals, but you slow it all right down, you wait to gauge the reaction, and you know that in those moments, it's Spirit feeling the pressure. They're the ones looking for the multi-kill, like you say.
Kind of a weird push for Tania. You'd like to think either in that position you just go gamble or you'd re-clear together, right? Like if Tania has support in middle, maybe they can brawl and win that round. Or if they just gamble correctly, I mean, Luminosity could definitely, at 6-1 down, walk into the wrong side. But 5v2, too far gone. So Luminosity back on the board. Insta timeout for Hallie here. Getting on it very early. Wonder what will happen in middle now, because for the most part it's been Don coming up heaven, being a frequent thorn in their side. That round he comes through the donut smoke late, but really well-placed flashes set Azul up for a double. How does Spirit want to tackle with mid-control?
Yeah, I wonder if a round like that can almost give Luminosity kind of a false sense of security about middle. Because like you say, that was almost like the late retake of mid through that donut smoke for Spirit. But Donk's often just been charging it, looking for that fight.
Changing it up is nice. Are they just going to 4B rush, though?
Well, Spirit have reacted by putting 3 players out towards middle. Worried about the mid hit.
Ooh.
So up in a B now. Good damage done on the spam. Tania, they're going to go looking for long. That's their post plant. And getting past him.
Whoa, Lux!
Okay. It's fine. He saw Shiro do it the other day.
Good catch, and now this one's in a box. Afro just has to make a play, and it's a nice try. Magic will not be letting it happen. Disaster on that B bomb site. Disaster, Harry.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Aided himself. He was like 1 health.
It's very rough because also they look at where everyone here died. They were in a position where they could have taken long. Lux kills himself to
They
the
took
nade.
long. BMAS got the
Yeah.
entry. I don't know what happened there. But that is an egg on your face round. Look at this. I mean, it's not... I feel for him. It's a little far out.
Do you see the horrible chain of events that set in motion? Because they got the kill long. They had long. They had the post plant. All good. Lux kills himself. The long player comes back because the other guy close by is planting the bomb. So he's watching for the guy trying to run through cave. Then they lose long. They lose their post plant. They get wrapped. They lose the round.
Oof. A nice try in middle, the break on the smoke, but they can't catch Donk with it, and even though some fumbled moves, he gets up heaven, full health. Spirit haven't even taken a tick of damage. They show a lot of presence in middle, and they kind of aren't scared of elbow in the slightest. Tania's locked in A, hoping they walk out. And he might be onto something, because bomb's in main. Players from B coming back. Spirit continue to have full control of the map. They know everything, and they have a joker in the pack, Tania, patient. Ooh, how's this going to go for Tania?
I'm
Will they see him?
kind of nervous though. Do they even? Oh yeah, there's the spot.
Yeah,
Rainwaker's got him.
Going to tell everyone to get ready to hit this site. Entry comes in.
Zontigs dead as well. It's a double entry from Rainwaker. And I mean, that's how Luminosity have found a lot of their successes, just on multi-kills on these entries. Round is good.
Great clear there. Was wondering if that angle would give it up. And yeah, Spirit just have to save. Completely locked out of position. Double kill. Nothing they can do.
And you know, Tania's kind of hoping like they give the reaction of going A and they overlook him because like we saw at the start of the round, Team Spirit have taken mid. They've done it heavy. They've done it loud at that, right? And usually you're kind of siphoning resources away from A to prop up that mid take. But that's where the boost really comes in clutch.
Terrorists win.
A round you can forgive, I think, here for Team Spirit. But Hallie cannot. Timeout comes in.
No, Hallie does not forgive. Hallie does not forget. These are not words in his repertoire.
Not rounds he wants them to be losing at this point because on paper, and yeah, yesterday aside, this is a game we still have all expectation that Spirit should be getting through unfazed, unburned.
Well, he also just knows, like, at this point in the game, you know, you can make it real easy for yourself. You win this round, you're good for the rest of the half. Otherwise, like, they have money troubles. Suddenly, Luminosity can be on a 5.
When a pistol suddenly it's an even game.
Yeah, like, they're actually in the lead. And this game that you're meant to be dominating can end up getting a little bit ropey. So just trying to get ahead of it. Because look, we've given away a couple of silly rounds in here, but let's finish the half strong.
For sure, this round is everything for Spirit to keep this clean. Mid-take again. No donut smoke. Donk looking interested. 3 CTs in position. Magic's ran through the Brawler Molly, taking a lot of damage to get to Cave. Luminosity, not much pressure on this B side though. Still pretty default heavy. Very late on middle. A split available with Lux in main. Only Shiro's orb with info.
And it was a good time for the slowdown here for Luminosity.
High-low peak.
Spirit now feeling like they want to try and make a bit of a move out towards B, and that's what Magix does. They're 3 strong on this side of the map, so felt like they needed something to show for that.
Oh.
Great timing on this smoke push for Lux. And with a Zuwu in through the red room, he's in position to cut down these rotations, now just causing chaos in the back line of Team Spirit. Once again, Donk's been left in a 1v3. He's won one of these in the game thus far, and he's looking for another. Donk closing in. Spam comes up short. Donk is on to a blinder, and he knows Azuwu's feeling the pressure. Donk plays it to perfection.
Unbelievable again for Donk. How does he keep doing it? They put him in these clutches. He comes up every single time. 2 1v3s in this first half for Donk. It's not every day you see that.
I mean, yeah, it's taken a lot from him, but man, that round saves this half for Spirit. It lets them lock in a dominant lead. They would have been broken this next round. Would have been Luminosity closing in on the half. Donk has just given you a nice clean break.
Dude, it doesn't help the arguments where we just say that, like, so many times that his team are letting him down. I don't know what those rotates are as well. There are 2 players coming out of CT. They see Azuwu in red. Taniz jumped through in a flash. Maybe he didn't get the spot, but there's a player behind him. He gets a dart. Azuwu gets into red and he gets 3 kills. Like, sometimes it's so confusing watching this Spirit CT side. But I guess it doesn't even matter. Donk just does it on his own. Had so little health as well in that 1v1. Should not make it look that easy.
I mean, you even just love, like, how he breaks up each one of those fights, you know, chasing. He hears the bomb plant, knows that one guy's loose behind him, so he's got two guys in the site. The moment he hears that bomb plant, Donk is hunting for the one guy with his gun out. Finds him, knows the plant is going to be a little flustered, little disorientated, just coming off the bomb. And the moment he gets into that 1v1, you know that Donk's won the round.
Okay. Zuu finally felled in middle. He's had a nice couple of rounds getting entries here, but not today. Shiro deleted by Rainwaker. Rough fight. Donk is here. Donk does not forget. Another double for Donk. Bomb almost gone. He's got one bullet. Got to get out of there, but teammates already flying in, and the nade should clean up this half. Leg shot is not enough.
I mean, Donk's saying, I'm low, this is losable. So he's going to fall on back and play the long game on this.
Look at him go. Afro given nothing here.
It is an enviable position, really, that Afro's in, creeping into that line. You know that around every corner awaited certain death. And so Team Spirit able to lock in a nice dominant CT side there on Ancient.
Certainly enjoying the donk show we're getting in this game. So many multi-kills and two clutches of that magnitude in one half. Reassuring, if nothing more, here for Team Spirit. Luminosity still struggling to do anything with this roster. Fair play, not the easiest draw in the lower bracket. Probably not the team they expected to face. But nonetheless, still a squad searching for their first series win. So far coming up short.
That's not the only pair of dual Berettas over here on B. And even though Spirit looked interested in this B site, I wonder if times are changing here. They're going to go take this lane. They've got Shiro waiting an elbow, and now you see the reaction. Missed the chance, though, of catching the opener from it. Pistol round could make this a very quick map for Team Spirit. They've already done good damage. There's the kill getting delivered to them on a silver platter, and that bomb is going back.
So patient for Spirit, and they just let Luminosity sweat how quiet the map is. They've seen the bomb outside of B. Luminosity go searching. They find nothing but a bullet to the head, and now, in that downtime, Spirit have rotated almost everyone out. Walking A main, even Afro doesn't have this info. The gamble stack is incorrect, and Tanir is selling it very well. It's not even going to get found here. He's seen two more players.
And he even heard that pop flash to go and clear cave. That's all the info you need. You know, Max, there's one player here at the A site, and you've just found him. Afro back in Donut, dead after one.
Oof.
They do lose Tanir. Zontic's going to bail them out. Azuu was close by, ready to keep the pressure on. Now Bemis is heading into enemy territory. They've taken over Donut. They're in their post plants, and he is a dead man. No worries for Zontix.
Is that Zontix considering the knife, or is that Zontix really trying to get the headshot? Either way, it's a pistol round for Spirit. And I actually really like the call there. They know how sweaty Luminosity are, right? They can put a lot of pressure on B. They go ramp, cave, back to ramp, back to A. They never commit. And the whole time, Luminosity desperately want answers. There are gaps in the map. They just go searching to their own demise. Force buy comes in. Rainwaker on his own. Uh-oh.
Very important he gets out, and he will. And that smoke should be enough just to stop any threat of this A attack. You don't even have a nade to break it open if you wanted to. And I don't think you're feeling that desperate, even if you did.
Trying to see what Magic's calls here, because this is actually a hard situation now for Spirit. Do they recommit to the A site, or do they re-clear a lot of the map that they don't have? They've got plenty of util to do either, but a recommit is high risk. But again, Luminosity, you can just tell how shaky they are in this game. Look at the rotate. They pulled 3 players A, now they're back to 4B. They're hoping the re-smokes will do enough, and it won't. Magic's calls a recommit. There's only one man home. Perfect. That's a save. Not a blemish on this record.
And I mean, this is feeling quite, you know, I don't want to say fully reassuring, like Spirit looking shaky day one.
I mean, yeah.
They've had some, you know, they've only lost 3 rounds, so that's fine.
It's against Luminosity, though.
Exactly.
I think that's the caveat. Like, obviously, that GG, how kind of sounds
I guess it's more just like, I didn't want this to be close at all, and it's not. Spirit, very, very comfortable right now.
Hard to argue with a game like this.
You're certainly seeing some of the pressure as well that comes, you know, playing versus a squad like Spirit when you are a kind of a, you know, a journeyman team trying to grind your way back up. Because this CT side, man, even onto the T half, things felt a little twitchy, felt a little nervous, and Spirit have been using that against them since getting onto this T side, just knowing that Luminosity feel uncomfortable. They're always looking for info. Even there, just a double pump into A was enough to get Luminosity doubting themselves.
Well, how clean can they make it here? Just pistols and SMGs saved from the last round. Luminosity trying to buy time and not give up a kill. Bomb back in spawn, but not a mistake. More just leaving options open here. Spirit are not decided. Ontic's flashing A main. Now they're coming back to B. 3 players here. If Rainwaker fully commits to this push, he's going to get caught. Ontix has it locked in. Nice tap. I just want to see the B players not move a muscle now. Hold down and hope the Spirits still commit. They've seen 1 lurk. That's it. There's a chance here for Luminosity, albeit slim.
Oh, there's the lineup for Donk. And the last man, you know where he is. BMAS locked in cave side. Again, just kind of that voice in the back of Luminosity's head telling them to go searching, that they need the info, and it sends them right into a very patient Team Spirit. This is Luminosity's map pick in this series. And Spirit, well, looking to dominate them on it.
It's a nice shot, but end of the road here for BMAS, just trying to get a gun into their next round. Spirit even now are showing their patience and their restraint. Uninterested in this last kill. It's a 4-buy nonetheless for Luminosity up against map point. It's Luminosity's map pick as well. Not a reassuring sight.
Crazy prediction for me, Hugo, but I think this might be I think we could be on the cusp of like a good tournament for Tanier.
Okay, he's had some good moments.
So,
go on, give me your...
I just think he looks more comfortable. Like, even in the day 1 game, he was doing his job. He was like finding a lot of these kind of actually backdoor chances for Team Spirit, taking good space, didn't seem to be like doubting himself or questioning himself. And I know they ended up losing that game versus GG How, but I don't think it was down to him.
No.
He's moving around the map with a good degree of confidence, I would say.
Hey.
All right, he's dead here, of course, because I spoke about him. That's on me. But Donk will make up for this as Spirit look for the knockout blow. They've got the B site. Bomb's going down. Shiro holding on, and he's got 3 players getting funneled right into his crosshair. Util pulled, and so Azuwu will get past him. Can they make this retake happen? Are they ready for Zontix on a big backstab? Donk goes out early and ends up feeding Rainwaker 1. Zontix should have this trade locked in, and that now gives you this 2v1.
Easy stuff. Afro just trying to quick scope his way out of this round, but they're happy to finish the job. Molly's locked him in, and it will burn him alive. 13-3, an absolute spanking from Team Spirit. They take down Luminosity on Luminosity's map pick, a team that has yet to win a series. And well, Dust 2 is not looking good for them as well. Spirit shaking off their day one and looking to redeem themselves here in Paris.
Yeah, redemption is definitely on the cards for Spirit with that shaky day one, as Hugo alluded to. Obviously not shaky here whatsoever. Not really even being put the test across Ancient against Luminosity. Yes, it is the Esports World Cup, and I want to welcome you right back to the desk. Pimp and Reader and myself are ready to get this one back underway. But obviously, talking about Ancient, this was rough around the edges for Luminosity.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely honest. This is kind of what I expected coming into the game, and I'm not happy about it, to be fair. I would have loved for Luminosity to show just a little bit, show that they could be competitive, show that they could apply maybe a tiny bit of pressure on towards Team Spirit, see if there was something to it from yesterday where they obviously lost to GG How and couldn't really handle the pressure, but this was a very deflating way of losing. You have 2 1v3 losses to Dong. You have winnable situations, winnable rounds, but you're not able to convert, and then you end up losing a map 13-3 where you're not even remotely competitive, Peter. To me, it's slightly depressing to watch Luminosity play Counter-Strike.
It is, right? Like, it really reminds me of how much it actually means to have an in-game leader that is, on the same page as your players, and also just shows how important and how much of a glue the in-game leader can be. And I'm not saying that Lux is a bad in-game leader, when he was leading Legacy, Ancient was one of their maps that they played at a high level, right? And, Monty also throughout the major and their uprise, they also knew how to play Ancient, but when you look at this game, like, multiple times it just looked very flat. Whenever they would lose the first kill, they looked at each other like, okay, so what are we going to do now? Okay, we're just going to group up and go A contact or B contact. And they were being very stubborn trying to get rounds on B, and for the vast majority of the time, they were just shut down. And they played with too little layers, in my opinion. Like, they couldn't really go back. They didn't get the space, and the rounds they seemed to be netting themselves was the rounds where they would go from fast mid-aggression to get double kills. But overall, things were just an issue.
And don't get me wrong, it's not that we expect them to beat Team Spirit. We just expect them to be slightly more competitive to us. We expect them not to look like a team that is... I'll be honest, I understand what Simple, put out in that Telegram group chat saying that he looked at some of those teams and he's like, how the hell are they there? But we're not, And I think he was thinking of Luminosity to some degree. I understand why that's the consensus from him, because in all honesty, the performance that we've seen from Luminosity ever since they lost Gizmi, ever since they made it to this iteration of the lineup, leaving Monte, going into Luminosity, it's just been underwhelming, to say the least. And the reason we're saying that is we saw how well they played during the major. We saw how well they did in Monte, but this is the outcome 2 months after. That is, as I said, slightly depressing.
Yeah, and I just hate to bring it back to the Gizmi point, but you can see it. Like, it's evident right now that there's a glaring hole in the approach to how they want to or need to play the game, rather than even come close to a Spirit.
I think there's nuances to it as well, because it's not that we can put the blame on Lux, as you said. He can be a great in-game leader, but I think the team is also a bit deflated from the fact that, hey, we didn't get to follow up on the major. We didn't get to follow up on what we showed, and now we have to play with a new in-game leader. And as much as it's tough for Lux, you can also see in some of the individual player performance from the likes of Asuvo, from Bimas, you name it, Afro for that matter as well. They're not playing at the same level, right? So if all of the players all of a sudden are losing 5-10% confidence, we're talking about a game where we often, put it up that it's just 1 or 2% that makes you win the game. If you lose 5 or 10, that's when you start to look like Luminosity, which has been, as said, it's been underwhelming, and it's a team that hasn't won a game yet, and a single map against NIP is not really going to cut it.
No, it's not really the start that you want. Like, the fact that you have 4 players and your coach moving on, right? You know, it's you know, I think they're probably still riding the highs of how good they did at the major, right? I don't know if we're just, you know, expecting too much out of them. You know, they had a really good run, but at the major, but I don't know if we just expect too much of the squad of like player by player in this one. So right now I'm left a little bit with a question mark. Is it just because they had a good run that we expect more of them, or is it this whole new in-game leading, not having Gismin leading them, or the players feeling something because hey, maybe we shouldn't have changed the roster, but you know they did make that decision before the major and everything. So a lot of uncontrollable things right now, but regardless of what they showed today against Spirit, you know, it's the situations and it's the space that they don't get, and then the situations they seem to be fumbling that annoys me a little bit.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, well, we might, but probably not here. I hate to tell you guys, I don't want to be that guy, but I am going to be that guy, especially when you're talking about things that are being uncontrollable just across Ancient. You weren't going to control some of the outcomes that Donk pushed into reality. They pushed out there off the ether, round 5, 1v3, Jacob.
Yeah, I think it's only fair that we give you a few examples of what it's like, you know, and why we're so critical of Luminosity. Donk gets to just defuse the bomb right here. I don't know what Azu and Rainmaker are doing in this scenario. It seems... It's... I know Overwatch just came out. You know, if I was watching this, I'd be like, okay, what kind of rank are we watching here? It sure as hell ain't Global Elite, that's for sure.
That's for sure. And we even get another situation where Donk actually savage thing with the 1v3 also, where the bomb is planted. And it's like, it reminds me a little bit of the situation before where they don't actually play the time a little bit. I know the guy is stuck on site, but the situation before with Afro already getting the kill on ramp, you know, he doesn't really buy time for his teammates to get in a position, and you see the Luminosity player coming from CT spawn, you know, he gets put in a shit situation because his teammates on site die, right? Yeah. It's not like they're not playing according to what they actually have inside the situation, and you know, it's these type of mistakes that probably would have happened if this team was just put together maybe 2 weeks ago, right? But let's not forget that this is literally just Monty with another name.
I was just about to say, it's 2-time in the first half, because one could argue, had you won both of those rounds with the economical damage that you'd apply as well, then you're maybe looking at a 6-6 half. Maybe you're winning the half 7-5, and then the conversation would change a lot. Yep. It would be like, oh, they applied pressure. Oh, it was somewhat close in the first half, and then you lost. But now you're left with nothing. Now we're left with a team that gets 3 rounds over the course of their own map pick, by the way, in a game or a map they have played well together. In a game that was never close. In a game that was never any competitive whatsoever. So it's just a very flat feeling, Trace.
Yeah, 9-3 first half. You know, is CT, is Spirit, you're feeling great. Your numbers are reflecting that. The stats probably looking just like that if I had to guess. And especially when you continue to roll that page along for a team like Spirit, this could get scary. We haven't often seen them kind of start with their back with the pressure like this. But when they do, if they can get it back on the same page, that is when they become that formidable force, that hard one to kind of stop, Jacob.
It's just a confidence booster, isn't it, Peter? You know it from your time as well. When you're in Astralis and you're playing plumbers and whatnot, you know, you walk into that game and you
shout out Chad one time. I know you're a
shout
plumber,
out Chad
man,
one time.
so.
You walk into that game and you know that if you do well, you get a 2.0 rating on HLTV, and if you do poorly, you get a 1.5. You know, it's the skill difference we're looking at right now. It's not about whether Spirit will win. It's a question of how easy and how fast they'll do it.
Yeah, and it's always nice when you've had such a blunder like yesterday, then you go up against an opponent.
Worst that a director has ever given you.
Let's just be honest, where the skill gap is so much different. It was like that yesterday as well, but now it's best of 3. That is,
Was that the face
you know, where the elite teams really succeed and be very more successful. So yeah, it's always good to get a bit of a confidence boost bouncing back, and I think this is a really good showcase.
To me, that's what Frank said. Because again, it's just 2 months ago, both of us, you know, all 3 of us, as a matter of fact, were covering Monty, and we're looking at them and we're thinking, oh, here's some great potential. Here's a team to follow for the second half.
One of the main reasons why I would never choose a job.
The way he was entry-fracking, the way he was confident in the face of their position. After, you know, had a bit of a breakthrough as well. I saw so many great things coming out of these individuals, so for me to stand right here and just see nothing of that right now, that's the disappointing thing. Don't get me wrong, I think the players know it themselves. They're even more disappointed than we are, and probably more frustrated, but it's just to put it into context for the viewers at home. If this is the first time you're watching Luminosity and watching these players, trust me, they were better off a couple of months ago. They can play Counter-Strike, but they kind of forgot it, I guess.
Well, you know, it's kind of hard to be in a car when no one's driving, you know.
Something like that.
Well, they do have a driver, but he's just not very experienced.
You're right. It's first day on the job. It's kind of rough out here all around the edges for Luminosity, especially when we just turn our attention to Map 2 in this series. Dust 2 coming up here, and I guess my biggest question mark is where on earth could you even begin to
Things got
potentially
very
turn the
real
ball
when a
back the
pastor
direction
went
you
up
want it to go if you're a team like Luminosity? Jacob, I know you've got the answer. I know you do.
Yeah, and I think the people at home would hate the answer because it's the same old, you know. Start off by winning the pistol, convert the pistol, and then let's see if you have anything in the buy rounds. You know, if you can win the pistol, you can convert, and then you could just get 1 or 2 buy rounds, you know. Maybe you even get another eco on the side of Team Spirit. All of a sudden, you have a 6-round half, and then we can have the conversation, Peter. But it starts with a strong start because there's no doubt that Spirit have the fundamentals, they have the individuals. They're significantly ahead of Luminosity right now. So a strong start is the bare minimum to even get an entry ticket into this game.
I don't even think that a good
Probably not enough.
No, exactly. I don't think it's like a good start for Luminosity is going to save it here. Because, you know, let's say that they win the pistol and they're
going to ground no matter what. Yeah.
That's what I mean, right? You know, I think Spirit, also the fact that we turn our attention to Dust 2, you know, it's where Spirit has been looking the best also coming back to the new season. You know, they've had some really one-sided wins and I think even if they go down 0-5, I still think Spirit will have what it takes to bounce back because their play poker is deep. Dust 2 is a relatively simple map. It's a map where Don can just be unleashed in the ways that we know he can be. So I think even with a good start, it's going to be difficult for Luminosity, and you know that's just how it is. If you don't show up better than you did on your own map pick, I don't see that thing's going to be turning around on your opponents.
So what you guys are saying is it's all Gizmy's fault. The winning over there where he's at now, and the losing that's happening.
He's the biggest winner out of all of them.
He's the one that yeah, he's probably true. Like he's the one that actually got the better offer, right? And you know it's not really. Again, it's not that Lux is bad. You know, he had a good time with Legacy, but he was also swapped out because his playstyle and his content didn't really fit the players. And I mean, like, it's still so early on, right? You know, you also gotta be careful with the language, right? Because you know, it's probably also difficult for him to go together with 4 new guys and a coach that had relatively success, and now he needs to go in and lead them, and maybe he needs to adapt his leading style to what they like to do. And right now, that's probably just very uneven ground.
See, and that's the thing, right? Because this doesn't change anything in regards to how I feel about Luminosity. There was a world where they would have played GG How in this game, and then the conversation probably would have been different. We would have a very close game, a back-and-forth game. 2 teams who are trying to fight their way into top 15, top 20, but they play Team Spirit, right? No matter how well they do, they're not supposed to beat Team Spirit, so there's almost no winning for Luminosity. Bare minimum right here in Dust 2, just give us a little something. Give us a little something to talk about, Trace. Let's put them up at 7, 8, 9 rounds so we can make the case that, hey, okay, next tournament, you showed against Team Spirit that you were somewhat competitive. So when you're playing the GG House of the world, when you're playing FaZe, when you're playing Astralis, that's when we can start to have a conversation whether you're good enough to make the games competitive.
So just to kind of put that, you know, in a bow and a ribbon on it, what you're saying is the favorites would have to massively underperform.
Something like that, you know. I don't know why. I think of Titanic, you know, it doesn't matter how many.
All right, and on that note, we're going to leave that one there on the iceberg that they came in on. Hey, we're going to go to a quick break so we can come back and get Dust 2 underway. We're going to see if Luminosity wants to try to play the game today or if they're just going to bow out very much ungracefully. Anyway, we'll be right back after this.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
Hi everyone, Ginny here, and I'm joined with Luminosity ahead of their competition. So we're gonna play a basic game of who is most likely to. I'll name a bunch of scenarios. You'll put down who you think that applies to, and then explain it, call them out, have a laugh, be nice, whichever one you decide to do. On a scale from 1 to 10, though, how comfortable are you guys? Crush this. Do you think you'll all have the same answers?
Not really. Not really. Yeah, nice confidence.
All right, great start. Let's go. Who is most likely to spend the most money during an event? All right, why Rimas?
Big spender.
Yeah. Everything that he can buy, like it's a better thing, a better product to buy, you know. So he's an enjoyer.
Most of my money would go to clothing. I love clothing.
Who would survive the shortest in a zombie apocalypse?
Okay, we have a
Everyone? No, I was hoping at least one. But I was hoping at least one of them would go for someone else. But man, I can't drive, can't survive.
all you can to buy, like to get a coffee, not a coffee, a tea, you know, a cup of tea, like everything. You dive for a tea, 100%.
Who's most likely to survive the longest then?
Oh, okay.
Looks.
I put Rain.
I was thinking Rain would call the mafia and he would survive.
He would bait everyone. I think he would be baiting everyone, you know, not leaving the house. Thank you.
Who is most likely to forget something in the hotel room after checking out?
Oh, I have a good one actually. Oh my god. He forgot his mousepad in an hotel room and he had to flew his brother up to bring the mousepad.
Yeah, I left it in the hotel before I went to the airport. With shout out to my brother. Next day I bought the flight for him and he brought my mousepad, so.
You flew your brother to a different country or city?
To a different country.
To a different country to get your mousepad?
Yeah, from Lithuania to Portugal.
So then who do you guys think is most likely to become an influencer?
I'm probably the most socially active person in this team. I love streaming, I love keeping my fan base up to date, posting stories. That's why, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, who takes the longest to get ready?
You put me?
2 hours of shower.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Who pushes everyone else to improve?
Oh, thank you, boys.
I would also put Afro. When we slack, it's gonna be Afro also punishing us.
Trying to help, yeah.
Who is the most competitive outside of CS2?
I'm competitive in all the things, yeah, but Afro because he played League of Legends and he is grinding League of Legends. The only thing that I know.
Afro or Rain because they're both gonna rage at anything.
How do you feel you guys did?
Pretty much the same.
Yeah. Bimas took a lot of shots.
Yeah, Bimas was the winner of this.
Yeah, Bimas, how do you feel?
Feels good. Feels good that you guys appreciate me like that.
All right, well, thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you.
joining and
Thank
for
you.
taking part of this. I hope you guys at home also enjoyed that one. See you around. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, redemption is the aim of the game after a slow start to EWC from Team Spirit, but they just handily dealt with Luminosity 13-3 in a dominant showing. What have I told you, Hugo? That was Luminosity's map pick. Now we're going to Spirit's map pick. Little bit of Dust 2 to try and seal the deal on this win for Team Spirit.
It might just get better for Spirit. Yeah, Donk showing up with an incredible first map, 2 1v3 clutches, many multi-kills, and all the round swing you could want here for Team Spirit. So, yeah, it's a reassuring day in the office, I think, for one of the top dogs in this tournament, one of the top dogs in the world. In fact, the #1 VRS ranked team coming into this event, Harry, and now they look to at least make it out of this group. Of course, we'll have to beat back against Luminosity and then take down the loser of G2 Big. So there's still no free lunch here for Spirit if they're going to make it to the playoffs for EWC. But I'd say they're looking a lot better than that Mirage against GG How.
Well, let's see how comfortable they're able to make Dust 2. It's a T-side start, and we're not wasting any time getting into this one. A long take from Team Spirit. Nobody home for the side of Luminosity, so they are going to have all the room to work with. Smoke down on short. You can't really afford to respect that if you're Luminosity. You're going through, but this is where that cross smoke comes in. They're going to start to make the site feel very, very small.
One tap for Lux, great nade, great flash, and he's going to jump off the back of it. Perfect round for Lux. 4v3, still job not done. P250 put some fear in from the cross, and Bomb makes it in, but they've got to fight their way out of this round. Multiple headshots found. Azuu holds his own. Still trying to finish these ones. Shiro can't do it. It's Magix who falls next. Shiro more misses, and they can just peek together. So this is Luminosity locking in a pistol round and starting strong on Dust 2. Just what we want to see. If Luminosity are in for a shot today, it would be quite the win on Spirit's home map. No plant, so expecting no force here for Spirit. A couple of Deagles coming through. Full rifles for Luminosity. Spirit taking this one like a timeout.
I mean, something I will say here, you know, you think back to that Monty run at the Cologne Major, and Dust 2 was a big part of it. It cropped up in almost all of their series that they played, even had a win over Falcons on the map. So it's one where, at least for, you know, those 4 individuals, you can have a bigger degree of comfort here.
Yeah, I think it's, and this is where it's like kind of a really hard job for Lux, because on one hand, you're going to have 4 players who have a way that they've been playing and have an identity to a degree, but then also they want to try and respect their new in-game leader and listen to his ideas. And, you know, I think that is going to be a bit of an inner battle for all of these players on Luminosity. And of course, you know, with the kind of justification of Gizmy proving himself again and again, even in this 100 Thieves roster, I think it just makes the whole thing a bit of a mind-melting situation for this team. Like, they kind of need success, or they're forever going to be doubting themselves. So let's see if they can find that balance today. A map they've got experience on. Four guns come through for Spirit. One of the best mid-to-B teams in the world, and they are fearless. They're looking like they're just going to walk it out. No flash through the smoke. Could just go left, right, same time. And here's that deep flash. Azuu does dodge it. Whoa.
Donkin with the entry, and eyes fixed on this B play. Rainwaker feeling pressure here. They're out through mid, through the tunnels and the window. That's great timing on the wrap for Team Spirit.
Ouch.
Shiro's even trying to deny the save, and so what could have been 3 players getting out with their guns is now just Afro left hiding out up here on short.
He will not survive this. They have everything. Beautiful shots from Shiro there, catching, I think it was BMAS leaving long. Teammates could not cover him. And I like how Donk plays that as well, right? Even though Azuu dodges flash, he gets insta-headshot. Donk slowly comes through that door smoke. He lets his teammates run in the window first to draw in the attention. Gets a lot of damage. Ontic spams out the player. So Spirit, with the 5v4 and a solo man B site, I mean, it is hard to lose that round. So they don't. Luminosity play for round 5. Ouch.
Well, it couldn't get worse than that, could it? Good trade of peaks for Spirit. As Lux gets deleted, no worries here up against the Pistols. You know, early days, I think we're always going to be comparing this Luminosity squad to the Gizmy-led Monty team. And you think about what he brought to the table here on Dust 2, and it was a hell of a lot in defense of this A bomb site. He kind of set a bit of a standard with some of the util that now gets lobbed in. He has his signature nades over towards ramp, was always a force to be reckoned with good ideas here. Lux is also on this part of the map, so, you know, kind of slotting into that same position. So we are going to be keeping an eye on him and how he fares out towards this A bomb site.
Yeah, I think bright side of, you know, being a full international, all these different countries team is everyone knows their roles. Everyone's playing the same positions. So it should not be a problem there. Spirit deal with the eco with no casualties. And now a rifle round again for Luminosity. Orb comes in for Afro.
All right, Azuwu, bit of a creep up through mid, got the orb boosted on Catwalk to try and cover him. So the orb makes that first incision. Azuwu doesn't hang around, keen to maintain the advantage. It's a 5v4 and you've got Donk out of the picture. There's no point squandering this. Luck's still pretty committed out here on short, and that's brought Afro back around to try and help him. They're stuck in for these fights. And Afro keeping it contained. Good stuff from him there. Gets into position to help out his captain, and they trade 2 for 2 out there on short. And so, all right, Luminosity finding a bit of comfort here on Dust 2.
Making a case for it, hey? Shiro immediately going to bring his AWP in after that one. That was a great display from Afro. Love that anti-flash position. Shiro looking for the B pick, knowing a kill in a round like this can just win you the round immediately, but Rainmaker will not concede. Spirit are ready. Sat outside of this B side. Uh-oh. Oh, it falls deep, but does it spread? Perfect Molotov. Shiro will not let you get out. That was sick. Rainmaker baited into sitting in that corner. And Molly is not a mistake. Util passed over. That can give away a lot of info here. But is it misinfo? As Donk dies in middle, the bomb is still in tunnels. Cat control taken. Can drop back mid to B. Afro is waiting, though. Looking for another important multi-kill. Really is feeling like the A play for Luminosity, but is that what Spirit want them to think? Seems to be the case.
Yeah, you still got Zontix floating around in the tunnels, right? Just leaving that option open, and now they lob in the mid to B after they feel like they forced a bit of a rotation out towards A. And so that leaves Azuwu in a very tricky position. They're very close up through middle, running now. Gives him the drop on the first, but needed a multi-kill there because the rest of Luminosity are just out of position for this retake.
Yeah, I mean, are you tempted 3v3? Oh, if you got a shot off there, maybe, but it's going to be a really hard round, and Lower is locked out. You try and retake tunnels. Shiro's going to stop you. Oh, no one coming back. They are putting up a bit of a barrier, but I don't think they are as interested as they may seem. Lux caught on the exit, and Shiro runs away. So that is the round for Spirit. Love how they do that. Everything they do really makes it look like the A play. From Donk throwing nades to Magix in middle, So the high flash in mid that makes Afro decide to recommit back to A. He doesn't want to re-scope on the doors cross. Shiro could have that line. So he just gambles, leaves a solo B player. And then Spirit know they've done that fake well. You can tell because they're walking into me. They throw the smoke. They just shift all the way. No room for error with 10 seconds on the clock, but no errors made. Put Spirit back on the board. Really well called round.
I mean, I think it's kind of interesting because when you look at this Luminosity squad, they've kind of tried to make Inferno one of their go-tos. Obviously, they were never going to get it in this series. We know that Spirit don't play and don't like that map. So you were never going to get to bring it out. But this is the first Dust 2 that they played in an official with this lineup. And I feel like you're seeing a bigger degree of kind of comfortability from the other four. When you think about Lux and his time in Legacy, Inferno was also their go-to map, right? So it feels like he's trying to bring that to this Monty team. Sure, they played it a little at the Major, they played it a little on the run-up, had that Monty squad, but it was by no means a go-to. And so maybe this could, you know, shape a bit of the direction going forward.
Oh no.
Especially if they're able to make it a more competitive affair.
Scared on this B site. Zontix has already crossed. And he just knows that is too easy for Zontix. Afro's ahead of the smoke. At least that nade gives some more utility for B, but Spirit are also outside of long. They had no intention of going for the B hit. So it's important that Luminosity keep their numbers in place. Okay, let's brawl.
Flash through, they try and play it forward. Lux now in a losing battle out towards short, and with Azuu kind of offered up on a platter here, ready to get split on from long and short, this A site has crumbled.
I mean, you see the lack of synergy there. I don't know what happened. Lux naded his teammate. Like, he naded the smoke as BMAS is calling, I'm going through, flash me. The flash was good, but the nade lands on top of him. He loses 40 health, and that just makes it an easy kill. I don't know. It's impossible to know, but would he have got that kill if the nade didn't take half his damage? Probably. Just a bit of a mess there. A deep nade would have been fine. Did he miss it? Was it a miscom? I don't know, but it just looks really ugly there for Luminosity. They make a nice play and they kind of ruin it.
No, Rainwaker. You might be fine, actually.
Cheeky. Oh,
he thought about it. He thought about it.
You almost don't want to take the shot, right?
He sees him going the wrong way, and he's more than content to hold on to the AWP.
Nice. All right. Good round for Spirit. I mean, it gets a little bit handy to them with some opening moves, but at least Luminosity want to make plays. I don't know. Zontix just seemed like he knew a player was there. Okay. You see that nade? It almost looks purposeful to break the smoke, but his teammate's already inside it, so not ideal. And Afro gets legs. You're one orb with armor. Immediately put down low. Everybody is here.
Oh, that nade nearly finished the job.
One more of those. Look how much util Spirit have.
And I mean, you see these smokes like that in mid, you're going to be permanently suspicious of lower. There's the molly. Afro really clinging on for dear life at this point.
All right, Zontix. Oh. Oh, okay. Thanks for the AK, I guess. But it's okay, because Spirit win the round.
Yeah, you know, I bring up the kind of map thing because earlier you were talking about how this is going to have to be like a meshing of the minds for Luminosity, how the four players from Monty will have their ideas of how to play. Lux is going to have his own. And like from what we've seen from the first few outings with Inferno being this kind of new go-to, it feels like Lux is kind of leaning into his comforts. And from talking to the guys on the media day, it feels like they're trying to get behind him and put that faith in their new captain. But I don't think you can overlook, you know, the comfortability of the other 4 on this squad. You hope that that's something Lux is going to try and bring to the table the longer this project has.
Spirit don't even feel the need to hunt here. Certainly does not look like they're scared of their opponent. Have your guns. Well, at least he all makes it out after that leg shot last round, so Afro gets another chance. He's delivered some impact already in this game. Boosted up, or rather pushed up on Cat. Tanir's out long. Oh, that hurts. What a shot from Tanir. Donk is found by Lux.
It never feels nice to lose the long player early like that, but I mean, kind of the best remedy you could hope for is having this short control, and so Luminosity have at least been able to take this map control back. Leaving it in a 4-on-4, keeping the pressure on out towards mid. Just letting Spirit know, look, if you come A, if you take and do anything with this long space, we're ready, we're in position. There's even aggression on the other end of the map. So tunnels taken away, short controlled. Considering Luminosity started this round 4v5, these are good positions.
I mean, they're so scared of Zontic's. Rainmaker's not even pushing T-Spawn. Magix will get caught down lower. Azuu, easy kill for him. 45 seconds here for Spirit to go somewhere, but long feels like the only option, and that would be into the Afro Orb. Zontic's going to try and fight his way back into lower, but Azuu is having none of it. 2 kills, bomb dropped, and Lux re-aggresses for a third, so a beautiful round building here for Luminosity as Spirit just gets stuck in the middle. Shiro shooting ghosts. And just a save here, or at least an attempt at it. Oh, at least it's before time. Plenty of money for Spirit, but rounds building now for Luminosity. They've not been afraid of making plays all game, and now they're starting to pay off. And a Halley timeout feels like a good call.
Yeah, especially with how that last round just kind of petered out for Spirit, right? Like, it was by no means undoable. We were crediting the positions that Luminosity had gotten themselves to, but that one just comes unraveled. And considering the great start, like, you don't feel good about the ending to that one if you're Team Spirit losing 2 fights to Azuu down in lower. Round just kind of cooked after that point. And I think Spirit can certainly tell Luminosity are more in the fight here on Dust 2 than they ever were on Ancient.
Yeah.
Do genuinely hope this feels like a bit of a wake-up call for Luminosity, though, that, like, they still have these good Monty maps in their repertoire. And Lux seems to be fitting in well, man. He likes the kind of punchy plays out towards short, being involved. He's a captain who does like to put up numbers. Fight for the tunnels. Azuu takes it early, meets Donk in a head-on collision.
Keep in mind, we've not seen Donk get a kill since, like, round 3. So, you know, they've gone 7 rounds with Donk silent. Now finally gets set up, an entry flash on that B side, picks Azuu. So Spirit now, man up, orb miss, they've got the info, they start chasing.
Oh, and that orb, you hear it rally off 3 shots. You know with each one of them that sails past, you're getting more and more room. They've taken the site now. They catch Lux on an attempt at a fast flank. And Luminosity, you've got to be thinking about the save here. You've lost short, bombs planted for it. Stuck to the extremities in a 3v5, you are out of there.
Oh, danger, but Afro catches Shiro unawares. Got a new mag in this orb. Donk is a long way away.
Yeah, Spirit were kind of already hunting. Still, I don't think this is going to be some last-second retake for Luminosity.
No, it's kind of unorthodox to even have Afro hanging around here. Tanir's seen him. He wants to get a nice angle to pre-fire this corner. That's really well played from Tanir. Slow and patient. BMAS, they know he's in position.
Terrorists win.
And I think he's gone. Nice shot at the end. Donk did find him after the clock, so it's still an exit found for Spirit. Only one gun actually saved. That's a Donk triple kill on that round to get him back in the game. Very brave repeat from Azuwu there on B. I mean, he's been holding his own individually in this series, but flashed off and goes back for more.
I mean, this is crunch time now for Luminosity if they want to be in a position to split the difference on this half, give themselves a fighting chance, because they are staring elimination dead in the face now. It all hinges on winning this rifle round. Without it, they are broke, and you're looking at another, you know, strong half for Team Spirit. A lot of room given up at the start of this one for Luminosity. Spirit have full short control. Zontix has cleared out the tunnels and lower, and they're grouping for this A hit. Don't have Zontix waiting back in upper as a reserve to leave that back door open. This is the A play. Everyone here, it's just an all-in brawl for the A bomb site.
The white smoke, but they're going to go through it shortly. Spirit are all up here. They drop that mid to
Block
B.
might change your mind, right? And now you drop a player down into CT as well. You're going to change this one on the fly.
This is still A. They're going up cat. The bomb is out. They're faking that they drop back. Donk was committed the whole time. Him and Tanir send it through the smoke. 3 players go mid to B, and all of them die. So Donk and Tanir have to fight their way out of this post plant.
They left Donk out towards short. He'll hold on to this space, so Tanir's just trying to buy as much time as he can. Doesn't go down for free, catches Bemis. Now Donk comes back to lend a helping hand. Azuwu head spotted. Donk closes in, can't get it. It's left to Tanir, and Azuwu cleans up with a massive round. One shy of the ace. He's given Luminosity a fighting chance at a competitive half.
And Donk had the drop. He saw his head come over there on just a little lip, and Donk moves in for the kill. It's Azuwu who catches headshots. 4 massive frags. Kind of like what Spirit did there, to be honest. He still put them in a winnable position. Maybe it should have been a better position, as those B players get very involved. But Azuwu goes massive here in this retake, taking 4 players and keeping Luminosity well and truly in this map. They are going tit for tat with Team Spirit on Dust 2.
I mean, you think about Azuwu, you think about the uptick in performance he had heading into the Cologne Major, man. Like, he was putting up some, quite frankly, ghastly numbers on the run-up to that event, and I mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
But then had this massive uptick, and you really wanted him to maintain that level, and it was, you know, Dust 2, one of these maps where you did just get these crazy games out of him. So very relieving to see him having a map like this in the Luminosity jersey. 11-7 with a massive 4K in that last round.
I mean, you bet your house on Donk there, wouldn't you, in that 2v3 post or 2v2 post plant to just get those 2 kills on a great line, but a little colder is Donk in this game. And that is giving leeway to Luminosity. Much appreciated leeway.
I mean, this map could also serve to try and, you know, answer some questions about Spirit, because in these games, Donk has just had to go huge. You've had a bit of worry about some of the others. Tanir dead first at the start of this round.
Get ready, Afro.
Nice set on the A play. Afro, smoke to play around, would love to deal with the first. The Magic's caught there, but a break on this smoke.
Here we go.
Donk and Zontix set their sights on the A bomb site. Bomb now down, and a 3v3. Azuwu, hero of that last round, might need to do even more.
Dead immediately again. Shira's going to have to follow up from ramp. His teammate is so low. Shira's got to pluck a player on as they cross in, but both get tagged and one gets felled. Shiro 1v3 for the end of the half, and a quick shot with the orb as they get closer. Luminosity do repel him. 6 rounds at the half. Head-to-head is back and forth all game long, and Luminosity are here to play against Team Spirit. What a shock.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got to wonder if we're going to start seeing Luminosity be fans of this Dust 2 more. Said it coming in, but this is their first official on the map since they put this team together. They've largely been leaning the way of Inferno, trying to make that one of their go-tos. But their Dust 2 is looking legit right now, going tit for tat with Team Spirit. A Spirit who had the lead throughout this game. You know, it's been Luminosity largely playing catch-up. And with some very keen rounds down the stretch out of Azuwu, just seeing him, you know, kind of tap back into that major form. How many more twisted turns has this one got? Maybe we have a 3-map series on our hands.
That would be shocking. I mean, it's going to rely on Donk not waking up. He's been quiet in this second map after a great Ancient. 3 of the last 4 rounds coming in for Luminosity, 2 of them being retakes. Is there more in store on this T side? Lux calls his shots. Straight down through the mid doors. Oh. Meet ground.
Oh, it's death by 1,000 cuts for Lux.
And Donk's back. Triple kill on the Julie somehow. This guy makes him look like a sniper.
Magic's felt good about that round 2. Hasn't really had to do a lot in this series thus far. 5 kills on the first map in what was a very comfortable win. But the right read here, break on the smoke, he did everything right.
Yeah, it's nice just having your mid player on CT, just have all the util on a pistol, and just wherever the T's go, you just rotate and throw everything. You know, long, flash your teammates through, short, block with smoke nade, B, high flash as well. Magic's just waiting for the play to come to him.
Been watching the cams very, very closely during this kind of eco timeout that Luminosity were doing. It looked like Azuwu was doing a lot of the talking.
I mean, when you're having a great game, you got a feel for it, you got ideas. You want to be set up. Just make the most of it. Because very quickly, all this credit to Luminosity can still end in Spirit stomping this series away and Luminosity being eliminated. It's an orb tag. Shiro once more. That's going to waste a lot of util here for Luminosity as they re-clear everything. Spirit get back.
Well, that's just sad for Lux, isn't it? He got tagged by the orb, jump spotting middle, and it made it enough for that nade out of Donk just to finish the job. Still looking to lean into a mid to be here at Luminosity. This one might be right from the brain of Azuwu, who is at the front of the pack. Dead first as he charges out towards the doors. Rainwaker not able to get out through the tunnels in time, and it just feels a little rough there. The peaks very far apart. Let Spirit break it into 2v1s, really.
Got great 1-2 punch here on this B site. They even spot the third as well. Afro, nice kill, but Zontix will not let him get space in this site, and it is just strapping in middle. The Spirit do their best work. 9-6. And I feel like every bit of credit for Luminosity might be forgotten very quickly if Spirit can win one more gun round and eliminate them here in Paris. You do not have much room left.
I mean, these rounds can sometimes break the tension a little bit. You're playing with pistols. You feel a little freer from the nerves because it's not like it's, you know, one of your few remaining gun rounds. You get a little looser, you take a few more risks, you try and be very creative with the util, making sure you get maximum value out of it, and so everything's got to have intention in a round like this. You call these long flashes, you get the control. And so you kind of have the staging platforms for a round here, but Shiro Orp watching out towards the car. Second shot comes up short, but Tanier's right there and ready to play off of him. Flawless round for Team Spirit, no issues in spite of the long control for Luminosity.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. One gun round essentially decides this series' outcome now. Luminosity have no wiggle room in this T side. A converted pistol and a gun round in the bag for Spirit.
I mean, look at the stars align here for Tanier, man. It's a lovely transfer onto that second player, but the third is just collateral damage, it feels like.
Ooh,
oh,
that's
Afro,
more like it.
Good catch.
Do they just jump on B? They know Donk is there, I guess. Let's not waste our opportunity. Afro's given them a chance.
I think it's one of the issues with just feeling like you only have a couple of rifle rounds left. You don't really want to run the risk of overreacting to something like that. You try and play the round out. You had an idea, you had a game plan, so you take it slow. You know, if this was 10-8 and that's the first rifle round of the half, I think they do just charge it into B. The CT setup has been readjusted. Second player board over towards this B bomb site. So now the onus is on Luminosity. They know somewhere on the map is weaker. Right now, it's A. Gonna head out into this mid to B. Tanier backstab gets one. Rainwaker follows up. They still haven't seen Donk hiding out of the car, but they are going to clear him. Both players there just beelining for that position, had a very good idea as to where he would be.
It's a bit ridiculous, but I do love the pathing for Rainwaker, just completely offsetting Donk's crosshair by going over the toolbox there. Lets his teammate trade it perfectly. It's not like Donk can transfer to a lineup. Shiro trying to get rid of these AWPs.
Feels like a bit of a rough hunt there for Afro, because he's not getting another AWP now.
Oh dear.
And you know, like, there is a time to think big picture and trying to break your opponent's money, but I don't think this was the time.
Yeah.
Luminosity's own money is now called into question. In spite of winning this round, they're going to have AKs, they're going to have everything they could need, but they're lacking that AWP.
That's the AWP that got them into the round.
Yeah. Spirit still have theirs. They still have more than enough.
Fair point.
All right, long take. They were blessed with good spawns, but anti-long rush setup here 14 Spirit flashes to try and help him out, and it is just a volley of these flashbangs. Luminosity do get through with a 4-on-3 intact.
Afro saw a car player. Don't volley it now. Wait for the smoke, and then they can just flush them out together. Going to go through this, surely. Molly is good. Donk is trapped, though. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Orb cannot provide the cover. Donk still gets one, but Shiro falls with nothing done. How is Donk still in this round? Can somebody kill him right now? Azuwu will with a Glock.
Okay.
What a mess. But Luminosity are still in this game.
Don6 is hanging around, but is he really going to give this a go? 1v3, they're entrenched, they're set up, and yeah, tag down low as soon as he rounds the corner, he's out of there. So Luminosity get a little something done here on their T side after all. Building a couple of rounds now back-to-back, chance to save themselves. Remember, loser of this, their time in EWC is over.
Be the first team eliminated here in Paris.
Terrorists win.
So Luminosity fighting on, back-to-back rounds. And not easy ones at that.
Ali again with the timeout. Because once more, you can feel that this is tightening up.
I mean, Donk really has plot armor, doesn't he? Afro gets given the AWP.
But it was like the Rick Grimes plot armor. Like, eventually, they still got him.
Spoilers.
It was good enough for a damn long time.
Oh, why not? Run it back. Very blind. Donk rotates in. Tamir's got an AUG.
Bucks kind of came around doing his impression of the Taco Cash screenshots, shooting at the sky, but he's still got the entry.
Back to B here. Zontig's the only guy on patrol. He's not even sure about B site right now. They haven't made noise yet. Zontig's peeks in. Nice kill. Is he ready for more? Has a smoke to block. He chooses to fight, but nades are out. He's getting pushed up close. B-Mass gets that kill. B site open for business. Maybe the round as well.
They're scrambling the rotates because they saw Luminosity still had a ways to go before they actually get in a B. So everyone will be here, and they're going to play ahead of this util. Tania gets into the site. Nade is brutal. Molly splits up the push. One back for Afro. He makes it a double. As it's rescue and recovery on this round for Luminosity. Tania trying to fight this. Orb, good for it. Afro saves the day with that 3K.
Oh my God, that's why we want him on the AWP parry. That's why he can't be hunting with it. What an incredible round for Afro. That was going so wrong. Spirit made such a nice call to rotate quick. The nades are good. And even though, you know, it's ridiculous that Luminosity get trapped there, they can't go ahead of the smoke. They'll get picked off by Shiro's AWP. So it's understandable. Afro's patience pays off. Behind the Molotov, multiple kills. And this game is getting way too close for comfort now for Spirit. Panic mode ensuing with these long pops, and there might be more in store. Shiro only hits a tag. He doesn't pay the price. So as far as Luminosity is concerned, that is all that is in this round. That AWP, look at them speeding up to avoid it.
The one thing to worry about is this AWP. And Shiro has it in the right place, but the util flushes him away. Lux playing through CT will miss his timing to deal with Shiro, but could still sweeten the deal for these players coming up catwalk. Missed shot from the Shiro AWP. Oh, another swing and a miss. Some of these have got to start connecting because all of Luminosity coming his way. Donk might fall, but everyone else getting torn apart for Luminosity. The Shiro AWP finally finding its way out towards the long side, and he's coming hunting for BMAS. Wants this final kill, wants the round over and done with. Team Spirit, not the one you were expecting. It's one gun in play. It ends up being more than enough.
I don't know how he misses 4 shots and then still comes out with a 3K. That's phenomenal for Shiro. It's a bit unorthodox, but pistols all over the bomb site. And Luminosity still run into that AWP. They don't avoid it like originally intended.
And dude, that's just such a gut punch of a round, isn't it? You're building back into this game. You're feeling like actually you can tie this up. You could beat Spirit on Dust 2. Take this series the distance. Stay at EWC for just that little bit longer. Give yourselves the chance. And the round that's meant to be the easiest of all, you know, the one that you've kind of been playing for, the freebie in a sense, is the one that you give away, and you run right into the one gun and the pistols, and that ends up being enough.
And let's remember, they knew that AWP was on long, right? So they knew exactly what they were doing going into it. Could have just been avoided entirely with a mid to be. Great deagle.
Because now your own money's all messed up, and this late in the game, that could be a disaster. If you don't win here with this cobbled together buy, it's over. You're down to pistols.
Afro wasn't given a kill on the cross, so nothing given here to Luminosity. They've got to play it with less. Rainwaker on a pistol. Magic's waiting. Luminosity allowed to play default, and I kind of like this call here for Spirit, giving everything up and just playing a really standard round now. Magic's even got a mid to B smoke, or B mid smoke from A. Has more util in store, and Luminosity just want to go for a full set piece. Execute on catwalk, lurk smoke on B, keep Stonk and Zontix in position as they set up this hit. Oh. Timing broken by that molly. Smoke as well. 40 seconds, boys. You're in trouble.
They're just going to play through it. Go on that second timing. Try and catch Spirit off guard. Rainmaker hears a rotation get past him. And they know the AWP is back here on long. They will find their way to a bomb plant.
A good position, especially if Rainmaker can take down Zontix on rotate. Oh,
he manages it and gets out of there as well, just to play a numbers game here, 4-on-3. Ooh. This was a chance at the knockout blow for Spirit, and it looks like they're writing it off.
It wasn't just a round for Spirit, it was a money-breaking round. It was a match point. It would have just ended this game, you'd like to think. But instead they concede, playing for that retake, and Zontix's death gives up the advantage that Spirit once had. I mean, great call to come through that smoke there. That's a high-risk call from Luminosity. They get full blocked at short. They could have had to bail into a mid to B, but they just decide, we're in position, we've got to go.
And you know, this map has not done a lot to subside any of the worries for Team Spirit. Like, you're telling me that if Donk just plays like an average game, then they're at like a similar level to the brand new Luminosity. That's not a good sign.
Not a reassuring sign. And we've had a couple of, Donk, poor performances recently. Think about that bounty final, multiple maps in a row with a negative KD. It's something we've never seen, right? He's set such a high standard for himself. And even now he's positive, but he had a string of slow rounds in that first half. He's been mostly avoided on the B site in this map. And sure, that's cost Luminosity, right? Running into the Shiro AWP and the Eco. seemingly made up for that now, winning the round that could have knocked them out. Now the mid to B. And this is where you wonder, can Donk just end this whole game?
They're going to give him a chance. Oh, or are they? They thought about going out on this mid to B. Gonna replenish this. Or is it just on the second volley? 4 players coming out, running right in to Donk. Been largely getting avoided right there in the position to find match point for Team Spirit. Crisis averted. Donk proves to be the remedy. And now 2 opportunities to close a match that really never should have been this close.
And I guess that's why they've been doing A-pops the whole T side, right? Because 1 mid to B, and Donk just gets exactly what he wants. He almost looks uncomfortable there in that corner. He is boxed in with nowhere to move, still comes out with a triple kill. Donk just shuts out Luminosity from that hit and leaves them with very little in what could be their final round here in Paris. Got to give credit to Tania as well in this game. He's had a great map. You were calling him to start off this series. You said he's going to have a good tournament.
He just, you know, he's had a little time in the break. Feels like he's come in just with a bit more comfortability in all of his spots. A bit more assured of himself, moving with a bit more confidence. And thankfully, he's been very dependable in this map. And they've needed him to be, you know. If he was putting up kind of the Tania numbers we were getting in some of these games last season, I think Dust 2 would have been over a little while ago in Luminosity's favor.
Even in the triple kill all round for Shiro on the eco, Tania hit 2 incredible 1-digs. Oh, they walked through their own mid-smoke here. Luminosity just going for it. Magix is caught off guard. He is going to be able to get in the corner in time. Luminosity bail. Panic util getting played here from Spirit. Luminosity changed their tune.
And out they come. Magix, good for the first. It's back to this A bomb site. It's where they found a lot of their successes. Just trying to keep Donk out of the picture. Shiro, they're getting closer and closer, and now he's onto the pistol. Hoping for anything to go his way. Afro's holding for a reswing up the ramp. Flash might have come in, but oh my god, Shiro, he's fired so many bullets and he hasn't hit a single one! No! Finally for Shiro, it comes in. Handed off to Tania, but he can't make it happen. Brother. That is rough.
Brother! This Shiro is brokey right now. There's 5 missed orb shots, multiple missed eagle shots. He gets a kill, but at what cost? My god.
It would have almost been better to peek and die instantly than making us watch that.
I'm so glad we just stayed on that POV, man. Oh my goodness. It's not what we expect, you know? It's not what we expect.
You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but if you take a bunch, you miss them all. It's also pretty rough.
That was something.
And now overtime is very much on the cards.
I don't know what to say. Luminosity are still here. And it's really going to hurt if you lose now. They have refused to go down in this second match.
I mean, if we're being honest, this is kind of a lose-lose for Spirit. Like, even winning here, I think, feels rough because you know that if you want to be competing to lift the trophy, like, you can't be struggling like this versus Luminosity.
Oh, Zontix is making a big boy play through the smoke. Donk flash. This could work. They're pulling nades right now. Good anti-flash from BMAS. And now B is open for business. But who's home? It's Donk. A1S, 20 bullets, 5 players. What's he got?
Gotta be huge. Flash lands. Donk still good for the first, but this is where the mid-split's meant to bail you out. Yep. Lux gets past him, and so it's down to a retake. There's no Donk to save you. No one else is coming, Team Spirit. Got to be Tania, Magix, and Shiro combining to stop this overtime coming in.
Oh, Azuru's getting played with here. Magix will squeeze that shot. There's low players on this B site. This is certainly winnable. Re-smoke is massive. It's going to allow reposition. Spirit in the dark. Don't know where these T's have gone. They're just going to have to fly through with this high flash. Shiro will have to do something to save him.
Flashes in, they wait for the second. That's their signal to go. Magic's dead right away as the AWP watches. Luminosity 2 kills away from this overtime. And Shiro spotted. There's no winning this. Luminosity long it out. We're going to OT.
Incredible resilience across this entire map for Luminosity. They were down at the beginning, managed to pull that first half back into their pocket, managed to isolate Donk very well. And even though they've lost some pretty rough rounds in this T side, losing to a near full eco with just a hero AWP, Luminosity time and time have weathered the storm and forced bonus play. Many other teams would not have made it this far. It's a big pick for Shiro. And with pressure off, Spirit feel free to fight. Double push at B, gets him a kill. Azulu just got to be the hero here, straight out middle.
I think sometimes, you know, when you've been so focused on just getting to overtime, getting there can feel like a real accomplishment if you're Luminosity, but it's like, don't move away from what was working. They loosen up a little bit here, try and force a couple of early fights, and I think, you know, that's actually what Spirit want. It's been these slower rounds where you send Spirit back to the bomb sites, leave them in the dark a little bit before making your move. That's where they found a lot of their success. Still in with a chance here, thanks to Azulu, so deep. But dead first at the window, and this one should go nowhere fast for Luminosity.
I don't want to save this AWP here. It is overtime. It's not cheap. Afro's fighting his way out of this box. Something's just going to repeat this. And Donk is here to stop any business from happening. Would he? Should he? He just might.
Oh, do it.
Okay, Shiro steals it away. Donk won't be happy about that.
Shiro just getting them numbers up.
It's fair. It's really fair. I mean, hilariously, the round that he had 5 missed AWP shots, he was 17 and 10.
Yeah. No, like he is playing better.
Yeah, he's playing better. But it's just crazy to watch that.
Just don't think we're at peak Shiro by a long shot yet.
After yesterday, it's hard to argue that.
It was 5 AWP shots. It was like 5 Deeg shots.
Yeah. Let's watch it back in slow-mo later, I think.
Really deep dive on every one of them. But yeah, look, I think for Luminosity there, it's a bit of a classic thing. You get into the OT, you have this degree of freedom. Why not have BMAS go for that early long fight? Why not have the Tunnels player give it a bit of a jiggle? Both of those fights get lost, and you're instantly in a 3v5. Where they looked their best, they were kind of slowly going about the mid control, taking that early. Just having pressure across the map, not necessarily on fights, but just with holding the space, playing for it. And so yeah, they slow it down here. No risky moves out of the gate.
Committing here. Bomb is a little back of the pack. Are they going to drop back here? Getting a player out catwalk like this is quite the commitment, but Afro is not interested. They're trying to force reactions, trying to weaken that B-bomb site. Even BMAS is lurking here. There's so many layers to this round. What a set call for Luminosity that seems to have worked. Only Zontic's on that B-bomb site, and even he has not fallen for it. 30 seconds. It's gone a little bit too quiet. Even Donk now unconvinced. Another kill available. Azulu grabs it. They've got the A site, suffering from success.
Oh, this could get really weird now, though.
They're not sure that bomb is even going back up cats.
Okay, no one in position to punish the bomb as it crosses, but these players in CT are going to hear this.
They wanted B, but A is just theirs. Bit too early on that move. Don't offer up a kill here. You've still got the advantage. And so it falls into place. Good of them to recognize that even though the set call was to lurk out B, that we didn't need to. Double kill in that A site, no warp on long.
I mean, it definitely helps as well that we've been seeing on the cams just Azuu being very, very vocal, and it's him in that kind of all-important position that gets the kill on a Magix. Also just think he plays it really well, conducts himself really well there, crossing out behind the box, leaving it to timings, doesn't risk it all on some brawly fight, just knows that they're in the dark, and as you hear them rotating, feels like he has a bit of a window. And so can Luminosity really win out on this half? That's kind of the big question right now. Tit for tat with Team Spirit to get things going.
And again, I want to add context as to why this is so crazy. This is a new Luminosity who, of course, the 4 players of Monty with a Brazilian in-game leader, players that have, he's not played with any of these players before, and a team that, you know, only in the previous event coming into this have not won a series yet. They've not won a single series.
Yeah, not only that, you know, it's Lux moving into this this Luminosity squad, guy who hadn't played in months, right? Being on the legacy bench.
I mean, it was mid-season. It's quite a return to form, but the job is far from done. However, on Spirit's map pick, it is certainly too close for comfort.
I mean, you know, we say for kind of new teams, you're looking to learn at your first couple of outings, see what your strengths and weaknesses are, what you need to improve. I'm hoping for Luminosity, this has got them rethinking maybe their go-to, because Dust 2 looking very sharp. And you imagine that comes, you know, largely from that Monty core who had good success on the map at the major.
Just that previous round as well shows they've been in the lab. You know, that was a really specific set play, every position important, no one overplaying their lurks. So they've definitely been working. Time to see if it's going to pay off here. This second round in overtime is everything. Donk with a AWP for the first time, pushing into B. They're all coming in here. Might just be a guaranteed trade. Unless Rainmaker goes early. Donk not buying it. Drops that smoke at the right time. That was about to be death for Donk. So smoke keeps him up in this B hit.
It's still coming though, smoke or not. They blow it open. They play right through into this Donk AWP. Only good for the first. Zontic's also low. You're begging him to get away with one, but BMAS won't let it happen.
Azuu's smiling as he makes that play work.
And now Luminosity are rubbing their hands together. The promise of a winning half in overtime right in front of them. They just can't fumble a 3v2. It's the toughest bomb site to try and retake even in even odds bouts, but it's a low HP Magix and Tania. That's all you've got to rely on here for Team Spirit. AWP on the line, and the one guy with HP offered up first. There should be no winning this for Magix, and this puts Luminosity in a crazy position. Chance to make this elimination series a 3-mapper. After all, they are just 2 rounds away from that reality.
Just unreal resilience in this game, right? They got absolutely banged out of Ancient. That was their pick in the series. It was not a competition. It was Spirit showing up. It was Donk winning multiple 1v3 clutches. Some ridiculous rounds in there, but here on Dust 2, it's been slow, but it has indeed been steady for Luminosity. Time and time again, digging deep when they have to. Love that pathing for Azuu, jumping over the box again, as one of his teammates did earlier to find Donk on car. Zontic's gone. So Spirit have to take a flawless T-side here. They want to win here and now.
I mean, it's not impossible. These were neck and neck halves, right? But you just wonder, like, Spirit know they shouldn't really be in this position. They hold themselves to a high standard. Does that pressure get to you, or does it kind of light a bit of a fire under you to make this flawless half happen? It's easy, does it, off the rip. They don't have the same freedom Luminosity did at the beginning of these OTs, just to throw in a bit of a pace change round. They take it low and slow in this first rifle, get that short control, mid-corridor smokes in, leaving Tania to put on pressure. And it's drawn eyeballs away, but Lux coming through that smoke is rewarded for the confidence of that push.
Now they know.
High set on the A plate. A man down, Spirit wounded. They find one onto Lux as he begins his rotation. Don gets rid of him. BMAS just hoping to stay alive, buy time for this backstab out of Rainwaker, and it now arrives, playing it forward. Donk is dead, Magic's boxed into a corner, and Zontix is a long way away.
Dude.
10 seconds left. They can't win this. There just isn't the time. Surely trying to cross in. Magix just gets the kill. They need this one now. BMAS, can he survive one more second? And the round is won by Luminosity.
Oh, the whole time.
They're on that point, Hugo.
The whole time I'm watching Zontix on the minimap, he is outside long doors. He is in T-spawn, holding the push while the orb has been seen at the cross. He never plays long. He resets at 20 seconds to come back up catwalk. He is not a part of that round. He is not there in time. He is the reason Spirit lose that map point. Unreal. So late. Too late. And Spirit, map point against them. That is devastating. Zoo's making a play. He's got the orb cover for lower. A position that's netted Luminosity a kill back in regulation, and Azuu plays up ahead of everything. He just wants to throw chaos into this round. Donk spotted lower. Jiggle finds him. Zuu still unknown. Magix as he swings into middle. Absolutely no idea he can be there. 5v4 as Spirit go rush B.
I mean, look, there's nobody home for the side of Luminosity. Rainwaker paints them up with a bit of damage, but not enough to stop this B hit, so it will come down to a retake. Luminosity going to try and play through maybe before that bomb gets planted. Azuu was hoping to make a move. Donk denies it. Is victory just out of Luminosity's grasp for now? 3v4, money for the next, regardless. You can give this a look in, you can more than justify it. Boost up. BMAS goes looking. Orb sees that boost, knows they're ready to come through the window. Leaving this one down to the wire as both players come through this door smoke.
Hold up.
Shiro with the first. Him and Donk just trading contact. Spirit come searching for double overtime.
It's the right answer for Spirit, that's for sure. They see Azuu top mid. They just jump on that B hit. They have the players in tunnels. It's definitely the right move. Donk spots the boost on Cat as well. They know B's weak. Needed more done on this cross from Rainwaker. Just damage, no kills. Spirit survive. They stay in this map. They need one more to force another overtime. What a messy game this is. Tense. Luminosity not looking scared at all. They peek ahead of the util. Afro jiggling in case of an AWP on the line. Magic's throwing everything he can to get this cat control and mid to B pressure. It feels like an A play. As the crisscross smokes come out in middle, Azuwu pushes ahead, and my god, he again is in a strong position.
Azuwu's whole style is kind of just this fearless brand, isn't it? Like willing to play close to the smokes. In this round, though, could get left out of the picture. Luck's dead. Azuwu tries to play it forward. Fast flank, hoping to be the solution, but Spirit ready for it. Drop a molly into their back line. They will have a bomb plant here. They're a man up again in a post plant. Spirit hoping that they can just weather the storm on this one into another OT.
All right, they got long control, but you still got to get past rifles here, and Shiro's orb on Catwalk holds the flank. There's not many routes of attack here for Luminosity to make a very difficult 4v5 work, but they've got nothing to lose in trying.
Swing out for BMAS, doesn't find a thing, and Azuwu dead. The scales still tipping in Spirit's favor. Clean finish in that final round of the first overtime, and with that, they've given themselves another chance to make this a 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not easy to take down Spirit, even though Luminosity have certainly had chances. They've certainly been close. We just keep running it back. Spirit refused to go down. What a game. Last thing I expected today. This is when your strat book is really going to get tested, right?
Yeah,
Your depth is really going to be questioned. And for a new team like Luminosity, do they have the reps to be strung out across multiple overtime?
It's where I think, you know, at least you have this idea that for the Monty core, they were very proficient on this map. The B-hit's coming. Rainwaker and Azuwu trade this contact out to keep the advantage for Luminosity. Feeling the pressure to try and maintain some control over the site here. Doesn't want to completely concede.
Nice smoke.
And this smoke is going to beg a lot of questions for Team Spirit. Is he in the site? Is this just a bluff?
Oh,
What's Azuwu trying to do? But that tag and the molly's given up his position. Lux comes in to lend a helping hand. And as Tania tries to hold on to this B site, you're waiting for Magix to make his move.
Oh.
Timing's just looking to line up for him.
Here we go.
And down to this, 1v1. Magix almost expecting a re-swing here out of Afro. Shadow to work with. Magix has got him in his pocket. And so a clutch for Spirit's captain starts this second OT on a far better note.
Damn, I was liking what Luminosity were doing there. Some legacy-esque Lux moves, just pushing through that smoke, bails out Azuwu. But you can feel the pressure on Afro in that 1v1. He knows he's just going to get timed. It feels like he has to make a play. Door and window is an option. Magix can even reset. So patience from Magix pays off. Deliver Spirit this first round. Donk talking a lot of
Yeah, Donk has been chatting a lot in this one. I mean, you know, like, because there's still a world where Spirit recover from these weird set of opening games, but I see Donk getting kind of pumped up on this attempt at the recovery, because for me, this was, oh, how old in a second?
Are we going quick?
It feels like it. Shiro had the spawn with the AWP, but a block in, I think that's going to take the momentum out.
Still feels like a lot of players to dedicate. That's not the angle you were ready for. BMAS just eats a bullet from Magix.
And they instantly go
running
straight through this B site. Rainwaker had just left it. So B conceded, a man down. And with already losing the first, you actually do start to give some considerations to money here if you're Luminosity. It's not a bottomless pit. You can't just keep buying. You would have some limitations.
Feels like a curious rotation from Rainwaker, right? There was a kill top mid. Not sure why that would pull you off of the B site. Maybe really fearful of long. Magix was throwing utility to fake it, but Luminosity got full baited in this round and really should consider a save if they lose the next kill. That's it. 2 frags back, but a team kill from the nade. They're committing to it, but it's going nowhere, and nowhere fast. Afro dead to the swing of Donk, and that is 2 rounds in a row for Team Spirit. Now, questions on money, certainly a factor here. But actually, drops are plenty. Afro's just got no Kevlar. But they can make it work. Spirit right their wrongs. The flawless T side.
There were still some concessions too, right? Leading into the double orb, not just the lack of armor. You've only got one kit in play on BMAS, and both these rounds thus far have come down to retakes.
And that's what Luminosity were very good at. And that, oh, wait. He has no idea. They crept under his jump. How did Donk get there? How did Donk do that? It's almost like he knew he hit the time.
Yeah, now it's double orbs in a retake kitless 2v5, so looking like a flawless half out of Team Spirit. And you know, I think this is kind of the bitter pill to swallow for Luminosity. You're going to get maybe 1 or 2 chances to close a game like this one. Spirit aren't going to keep giving them to you.
And they had 2 map points back in the last overtime on this very half. But not anymore. That is Spirit with 3 chances to finish this series and to eliminate Luminosity, as they always should have. Luminosity have put up a hell of a fight in this game, but this one does feel like a bridge too far.
Yeah, you know, I think you're both happy with what we've got out of Luminosity. The idea that their Dust 2 hasn't looked to drop off since the major. But for Spirit, a weird one where, you know, now they're just a round away from the victory, but it's a victory it feels like they always should have had. This is one of the favorites to, you know, go on a deep run to win the event. As you say, that the top-ranked VRS team heading into EWC versus a team that hit their highest ceiling at the major, went the kind of furthest they ever have, and have now swapped IGL and organization.
Is this it? 3v3, Donk sending it in.
Barreling forward, Donk only good for 1. How many more twists and turns do we get as this is now a anxious 2v2? Tournament life on the line for Luminosity. And they need 3 straight rounds, starting with this one. Nade comes in. Doesn't do much. Zontic's gonna get his, low on health, still good for it. And now just keeping pressure on BMAS, and there it is, Team Spirit. After a very labored fight on Dust 2, able to secure the victory and put an end to Luminosity's time at EWC.
Yeah, it's bittersweet for Luminosity, right? They still show a really great fight in this second map. Too slow to start on the series. They hold it down against Spirit on Dust 2. Some great moments from Azuwu and Afro. But across the board, Spirit do take the 2-0. They do survive by the skin of their teeth and look to go on to still get out of this group.
Yeah, and finally, there comes some resolve from the side of Spirit. Yeah, we got into the OT territory, had to be a little bit of a reset in the economy department across the entirety, but yeah, Spirit get it done here, eliminating Luminosity, staying alive rather, is what I should probably say in some regards. There were some evident holes here.
Yeah, not necessarily a very convincing fashion from Team Spirit. I feel like they lost grab of the game in that second half, and then you gotta give credit to Luminosity for still believing, for still being able to fight back, pushing it into overtime. Peter, I know overtime looked like it was rather convincing than again Team Spirit, but there were a couple of rounds that were close, and it was not with no reason that you could feel and imagine that Luminosity probably believed that there was a chance to push it to a third map. I don't know how I feel about it though, to be completely honest. It doesn't sound right to say that there's no winners of this game, but in essence, I think Luminosity, to some degree, are the winners. I think they pushed Spirit here in Dust 2 way more than you could have anticipated. Looked a bit more calm, a bit more composed, showed a bit of that level we saw from the old Monty core. Whereas for Team Spirit, this is not giving me any sort of confidence that they are much better off than they were yesterday.
No, it's not as impressive as we probably would have wanted to see from Spirit, and I think we can.
Then again, a 2-0 win, right?
Yeah, but it's a 2-0 win, right?
It's tough.
They do bounce back from yesterday, but it's like if they would have met like just a slightly better team here, it probably would have gone to a third map if the scoreline was like this. And I also think that we all remember how strong Spirit started at the major. They looked so solid, and now it looks a little bit more shaky, despite them also making grand finals over at Bounty. But I mean, like, I wanted to win in the end, right? I think we got what we wanted from Luminosity. We asked for them to at least show that they can play at a higher level than what they did on Ancient. And I think they did manage to prove that. And I think it was a clear picture of two very different approaches to the given maps. Where on Ancient it was very hesitant, and it was about not really making the right decisions. They were being very scared. Whereas with those two, they played a little bit more loose. They allowed themselves to, try and catch the timings going in front of the smoke, being a little bit less predictable, I'd say, which really netted them a lot of rounds and almost brought them to a third match.
Maybe it's the question of the glass being half empty or half full, and I can rewrite what I just said right here. There's two winners of this game. Spirit win the game, and Luminosity showing.
See, that's much more positive.
Yeah, I guess that's what people at home, they want. The Twitch chat is happy now, I don't know, but it's like Luminosity actually got to show something right here. Show more than we anticipated, more than we expected, and regardless of whether you're happy with Spirit not really looking as convincing as you'd like, they still win the game 2-0, and they still beat them quite handily on Ancient. So over the course of two maps, maybe we do have two winners.
And I think you're onto something right there. Dust 2 saw LG take that pressured approach to try to flip that switch on Spirit. Otherwise, it was turned off in map 1. So that was the map 2 thing. I mean, there was a little bit of a brute force approach there towards the end. You could tell maybe they ran out of some ideas. You got guys running out long. Hey, maybe we can get this straight away. It's not as simple as that. What it is as simple as is hearing from the victors of this matchup. It's Team Spirit. Let's hear from Donk.
It is indeed, Trace. Donk, congratulations. It was kind of two different maps, let's just say it, in that series. Ancient looked incredibly easy. Dust 2, a bit more tricky. What were some of the issues you were encountering on that second map?
I think probably we were too passive at the city side, and we weren't punish them for their mistakes and the moves they were doing, and I think it was just the main problem. Why the map was so close. They were doing what they can. We let them do whatever they want, and it's always a problem.
We could see on the cameras, particularly in the later stage of that Dust 2, you were talking quite a lot. Is that what you were saying to the guys? What were you giving your guys kind of some advice about to close it out?
I noticed that in overtime and before we won 3-0 in T-side, and I said, guys, don't you want to punish them after we go city side? But we won 3-0, and next we need only one round, and it's easy.
Felt like that was a massive turning point. Final question for you, Donk. Back on Ancient, you had a couple of lovely clutches going down. How happy are you with your individual form at the moment?
I'm just fine. I think I'm supposed to get a good rating against these opponents, and I'm doing it. But the main thing, I want to win, and I don't care about stats at all.
Which clutch did you prefer though? Round 5 when you got the Ninja Diffuse, or round 11 with the 1v3 on Ancient?
I didn't hear.
Which clutch did you prefer from Ancient?
From Major?
From Ancient, from the first map.
1v3, I guess.
That was a very nice one. Either way, Spirit do indeed get the job done, and Luminosity unfortunately eliminated.
Now, I'm going to need some clarity on that, because this young man had multiple 1v3s today. Let's be real. He was definitely, again, a donk that showed up here to play, that needed to play for Spirit.
No, that's the worrying thing, right, Peter? You have Donk playing well, very well. You had Donk playing super well yesterday as well. So questioning his individual form at the moment, there's no need for that. He's up there. We went 7 for 8 in opening kills on Dust 2 as well. Yet Spirit are still struggling. I feel like that you kind of alerted to it, Peter. You kind of made a hint to it. It brings back the conversation we had an awful lot in 24 and 25. How much does Spirit actually rely on Donk and just Donk? And I feel like we see more and more of that. We don't see Zero playing as high as a level as he did in 24, 25, and it does feel like Spirit is even more dependent on Donk now than they were maybe a year ago.
Yeah, and it puts a little bit of a question mark regarding, as you also alluded to in the beginning, who is actually the supposedly third star of this lineup, because from all my time in the teams that I've been in, it's always been very important that you have 3 really solid fraggers that can put in the numbers and put in everything, and I think that's the big question right now for me when it comes to Spirit.
Yeah, and they had a strong... Sorry, Jacob, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's just about them not stepping up when it was needed the most right here. You see Sontics was struggling quite a lot on that B-bomb side to get anything done, and that's part of the reason why Luminosity were able to push this into overtime. Also, again, I want to give credit to Luminosity. That T side, we spoke a lot about looks, we spoke a lot about the calling. Fact of the matter is they won 6 out of the last 8 rounds in regulation in order to push it into overtime. On the T side of Dust 2, a lot of coordinated hits, a lot of good synergy between the players right here. Basically anything and everything we didn't see in the first map and we haven't seen for Luminosity just yet. So I just want to give them a little bit of credit, you know, for applying the pressure to Team Spirit. That's what we asked for, Peter. That's what we wanted, and that's eventually what we got.
And I think this is hopefully one of the games they'll be looking back at thinking, guys, if we can play just sort of like this, like the philosophy and how we took space and helped each other, this should be the example moving forward for Luminosity. Instead of, you know, maybe looking at what they did on Ancient, where it was very, very flat and no one really took the space and everyone played very nervous, which is fine. Let's be honest. I mean, like, when you go up against Spirit, you need, and if you're the Unlock, you need to be able to take risks, and you need to be able to, you know, dare and not think too much about the consequences. And I think that's what they did on Dust 2. Sure, it would have been different if they would have faced an opponent that was more like their own caliber, but once you go up against these teams, that's very much needed, and still, you can still create like a plan moving forward if you look back at the game you just played with philosophy and how you're thinking, how you're communicating, that it's not always about making the perfect call from spawn. Like, it's not always up to Lux to create out rounds. It's just as much the individuals creating individual space. When they see there's a gap, they take that, and then, you know, things just start spiraling into their favor.
And how far would you say, timeline-wise, you know, realistically, would you put LG behind where they should be?
I mean, I've always had this saying that when you... It's a little bit different here because it's not like a completely new team, but once you create a new team, I would always give you like at least 6 months before you start showing results that is, you know, that kind of breaks whether you're going to be, you know, a good team or you're going to be having to make changes.
That's generous.
Generous.
That's how it is in Counter-Strike.
Well, hold on, guys. Hold on. You might be onto something there. Let's hear from the Luminosity side of things right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Luminosity eliminated here at EWC 2026. Kakafu, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's not easy in these moments. Let's park up the bus on Ancient there, because I don't think there's too much to digest. Dust 2, there were some signs of life from you guys. Can you walk me through that map and maybe what you felt went wrong in the tail end of it?
I mean, on Ancient, I think we started actually pretty good. We were coming on the bomb side, right? We had the pistol retake, we had the first weapon round retake, right? We had, like, I think 4 different type of retakes that we cannot convert. Like, the initiative of some of the players was not there to, you know, take the right duel, to, you know, to use the Molotov, to use the util to, you know, defend out the retake. And then obviously, you know, then some chaos round happened where Donk just gets us to 1v3 against us, and like everything that could go wrong went wrong. And then Ancient looks like this, even though I think the strategy overall, like the choice of strategies was good.
With that Dust 2 and things getting incredibly close there, when I was just speaking to Donk, he said he felt like some of the issues they were experiencing were they were playing a bit too passive. Did you feel like Spirit were playing passive and maybe letting you get away with some things to make it a close one?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Russian teams have this tendency to play very passive, right? To let the enemy come and do the mistakes, and we know that, right? So we basically play on that, right? We do fake out like stuff to have like the different type of lurks, and it's like easy to get the mid controls against them if they never play aggressive. So the mid round calls get easier. So yeah, we abuse that one.
And just looking at Luminosity overall, obviously it's a new look for the team, but essentially it's 4 guys from Monty, including yourself, and then a new in-game leader coming into the mix, right? Has it been more tricky than you've anticipated, given what we saw in Cologne with the team as well, to integrate Lux as an in-game leader? What's kind of the situation there?
I mean, the situation was super messy, right? Like, obviously they got the core, then Rainwaker joined, and there was a big question mark about myself, right? If I even be in the team or not, because there was another coach lined up for Luminosity. So there was, you know, a turbulent start, like close before China. Like 3 of our players didn't even know if we can go to China. But, you know, we had to do it because otherwise we had to forfeit the points, right? So we said, okay, let's do it, you know, let's at least try to do it. And yeah, like coming here, we had like 2 weeks of practice because we also planned for the player break, and then, you know, all of this stuff happened. So yeah, like we presented by the chance of, you know, playing with Lux, right? So he was already there when the Montecore joined. So this was the the task that was given, and obviously we're trying to make it work, right? So the Brazilian mentality is like way different than the European one, that's for sure. And meshing up these two continents basically is going to be the work. And I think if we can find a way, then it's going to be successful again.
So I imagine the grind continues for you guys. What's up next after this exit?
Yeah, so this was our last Tier 1 tournament. So we have to go back to all the Draculans and the Roman Imperiums. But this is where you can also get VRS, and this is also where all the teams around us will be. And if we beat them, we are back to being a contender.
Kakafu, I wish you the best of luck in that grind. Unfortunately, that is the end of the line for Luminosity here in Paris.
Yeah, not exactly what you were hoping to have happen if you come all the way over here to Paris to play this beautiful game that we have here. But there is grace in the loss, I suppose. There is learning to be had. Now, you will get your key crushed. I promise you that. Like, you will be getting that key crushed. But for Luminosity, you have to kind of look at this as a building from this point. When we talk about rock bottom, this isn't necessarily rock bottom. They haven't even started yet.
I really think this was one of the most honest but also very realistic interviews that we've had. I think his way of seeing that they need to find the cohesion between the Brazilian playstyle and then themselves, and also the fact that this was their last Tier 1 tournament, and he even says that now they drop down to play Draculans, and where the teams around their level is right now, and if they can make it work in, let's say, 2-3 months, they might be back at Tier 1 competition. And in that regard, then we need to be seeing improvements, because once they take that step down, we probably want to see a little bit higher kind of level than what they've showed here.
I very much appreciate the honesty from Kakafu. I agree with you. Great interview. Luckily for us, luckily for me, we're not part of that team at the moment, and we can sort of distance ourselves from it, and they're screwed.
Luckily or by choice, Jacob? Let's come on.
Well, both maybe, but they're screwed. They have to go in, as you said, Peter, and as he said, Draculan have to grind their way up into it as well. It is such a tough fight, right? And in order to be able to stand out from that middle pack of teams, we're talking maybe top 20 to top 40 to top 50. They're all so close, right? So they had this golden opportunity of actually getting into more Tier 1 tournaments, could have stuck together in the Monty lineup or brought on Gizmi and had that whole thing going for them. Now they have to stand out between a field of 30 teams where everyone is more or less equal, right? I'll be honest with Luminosity, it's not that they don't have a chance of coming back into Tier 1, Tier 2 Counter-Strike, but it's going to be super tough. So it's just a very unfortunate scenario. You think back 2 months, they were in Monty, they were, in Stage 2 of the Major, arguably one of the big surprises of the Major as well. And now we look at Luminosity and I'm like, you're screwed. Like, you're done for. It's going to be so tough to get back where you were just 2 months ago. So best of luck with the fight. They're going to need it. And it's going to be, as I said, very tough to stand out between all those teams.
Yeah, screwed is a big word in my opinion. At least they're there. They don't have to start from square one.
And we're back to the participation.
Yeah, cool. I get it. I understand. I see what you're saying.
It's good to be here, okay?
Yeah,
but truth be told, if you're a Luminosity player, if you're looking at this Luminosity project and you're trying to follow up, or you have that idea that, hey, this is Luminosity that won majors in the past, like many moons ago, and yeah, you give me the eye there, but truth, that was a long time ago now.
It is a long time ago.
So if you're trying to build into a namesake for a legacy there within your team itself, it's going to be a while. And with these puzzle pieces that they have, I don't know.
I mean, they've shown, as you said, Peter, they've shown they can do it before. It's not that, I said, they're not without a chance. It's just, it's such a tough competition between the top 20 to top 50 that in order to stand out as the one team or the two teams who's going to take that leap, they've done it once. That means that surely they can do it again, but it's not easy. You look at NIP right now, they've been fighting to do that on a budget that I would assume is 3 times as high as Monty or Luminosity or whatever they're putting into the squad now. It's just not an easy task to stand out between so many teams.
We got an easy task for you, Jacob.
Oh, what is that?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready. Are we going to talk about group? No? Okay, no mind.
With this guy, why is it always like this? We're talking about Group A.
Oh, okay. Well, Group A then. Not my favorite group, but fair enough. We're progressing. We see Team Spirit progress from the lower bracket as we'd expect. We also saw Gamer Legion on the side manhandling GG How. It looked like there was only one team on the server, at least on the first map. I know it was a little bit close on the second, but credit to Gamer Legion and credit to Flammers for coming in and basically picking up where PR left himself. It's still a very interesting team and interesting to follow Gamer Legion, I feel.
I think it's so good to see Flammers back in that squad. I think with what Gamer Legion showed at made that you know, it out of nowhere they just look very flat. And I think bringing in someone, they lose PR first of all, but then bringing in Flamish, you know, I think he just loves playing Counter-Strike and he loves to be back at his level. That he's gonna bring so much joy to the team.
He's a vibe kind of guy.
He's such a vibe guy.
He's such a vibe,
and I think he's good on top of that.
Yeah, he's good on top of that as well. And I think Gamer Legion is one of those teams who need a bit of vibing within them. So I think it's a great fit, and so far so good. You know, qualifying for the playoff without losing a single game, a single map for that matter as well. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's Group A. We'd go through them all, but we don't necessarily even need to, gentlemen. I think
Group C, D, something?
We'll get there, man. Relax. You'll get the D eventually. I promise you that. So, yeah, over on the B stream, we had GG How and Gamer Legion. We were just kind of touching on that a little bit there. Dust 2, Mirage, 13-3, 13-8. Just making sure we hit all the points. As you know, Jacob, there's a lot of Counter-Strike going on here, and no one really asked you in the first place. So, let's go ahead and go to a break on the back of that. I think it's a pretty good stopping point. We've got Aurora setting up over here to play M80. Their backs are against the wall, IRL and in the server, because it is elimination day here at the Esports World Cup. We'll be right back after this.
Goodbye, M80.
Shh.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city
While the world sleeps, the Nocturnal makes her moves. To thrive in these hours, she relies on the pack. And thanks to them, she'll never go hungry. Chomps, take bigger bites.
This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Ability starts coming in. Heavy God has got to be spot on because he's very alone.
Now here comes the execution. Beautifully set up here from Big. Look at the timing on it as well. They just go in as the utility's flying into the site, and that just catches Heavy God off completely. So that almost feels like it's the round with how decisive that take was of the site and how out of position these G2 players are.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is the round if you don't get anything pretty much immediately, and you can already see them backing off before the bomb's even planted. They want nothing to do with this retake. Very simple. Big doesn't even have to really test anything across the map. No mid control, no probing towards the A bomb site, nothing. Just spread up in a default, make sure there's no pushes, and then a B execute.
A lot of cool B executions you can do on cast as well. Like, you see Grix is the utility bearer in the sunroom. You know, he's tossing the smokes out through the window, but it's just how quick everything came in. It was just an absolute bombardment of utility towards Heavy God.
It's also a really good display of why mid-control has talked about so much of how important it is on this map. If the CTs don't have mid-control and they don't have access to vent, sometimes it's really hard to have a supportive element on those B hits, on those attacks, to be able to slow it down, to be able to buy Heavy God your anchor some kind of time. Take a loss here, but only lose one player, so not really any kind of significant dent in the economy of G2 CT side. They'll buy right back up into things.
Yeah, it's just with there is sort of a positive to the round being won that decisively is the fact that you can just keep your money solid on the CT side. A double op setup. Let's see that come out straight away here. Heavy God, we know, is capable on it.
Well, it makes me think that I'm curious where Wrinkle's going to go with his AWP, because he started at the B bomb site a couple times, but if Heavy God's going to have the op as the B anchor, you imagine that's going to be his position. So that's going to free Wrinkle up if he has a spawn. He does have a pretty decent spawn, it seems.
Where's Heavy God spawn at?
Towards the back.
Yeah, it's not. Because you can, if you're the B player, you can do a quick, if you have a good spawn, you can just drop and try and peek into B main, but having the further back spawn, definitely not looking like that's going to be likely.
But I think it's also maybe a read of how slow Big is playing these rounds too, where it's like, if you're not going to be fast-paced, if you're not going to be streaming over the boost in middle, if you're not going to be rushing B or A, let's get an op set up for your slow defaults as you move around the map. And if we can get them a deep, aggressive angle, you might just walk right into it. So some easy kills perhaps on the card for G2. Let's see how Big discovers this change up in the defensive tactic. Wrinkle going to be in middle and pushing behind the Molotov.
There's the push forward from Nerds. This worked out very well. Tapson going to go down, and he'll peel away from behind that smoke all the way back to safety. And an advantage here for G2 to work with.
Yeah, and it sets up now. He kind of departs and sets up Heavy God with that secondary AWP. So as they walk back to the B bomb site, he'll have a good angle as this smoke fades. 4 remaining players of Big have leaned towards the A bomb site. 2, 3 in main, 1 towards Squeak Door. Wrinkle's off is here in position.
And just burning out towards the back. Checking over towards main. Mattis on the forklift gets his head shredded here by Favin. We've got Hunter climbing over the top, trying to see that down the side of the smoke, but Blamef has taken Hunter out of the question. Nice shot from Wrinkle. Good reactions, and then gets out of dodge as well.
Yeah, but now you got a 2 ops on the retake. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun, and you're all held back. Good shot from Wrinkle. Blamef goes down. Man advantage to the retaking side.
Yeah, Flash is trying to go forward. JDC just planted safely behind that box, waiting for them, inviting them into the site. Grix just peeking out from quad to take the initial fight. The damage is done to him. And then Heavy God comes in with a follow-up. So, yeah, you had your chances if you're Big, but Nerds and Heavy God sharp shooting, and they get right back into that retake.
Yeah, he's got a quick tag on the jiggle, and then another quick jiggle just to find the final kill. A good shooting from Heavy God. 4-2. Initial defense isn't perfect, but the double op setup does pay off. 3 kills between the 2 AWPs in that round, and Wrinkle, a very influential piece of that puzzle at the A-bomb site. 7-2 for Wrinkle, the new op of G2. Off his electric debut yesterday. Mike alluded to it, the best debut of an opera in a G2 jersey. I think beating Kenny S by 0.01 rating.
It's quite the party to be involved in. Considering, you know, the likes of Kenny S, Monacy play for G2.
Yeah, they've had some good operas over there, haven't they?
They definitely have. Hunter, with that breakage of the smoke, has a little peer into middle.
And maybe the first round it is the first round we've seen G2 play on the CT side against an aggressive mid-take.
Flashes up, Heavy God just tucks himself against the wall and scaling. Okay, yep, taps and gets away with the spam. Heavy God going to be frustrated about that, but more pressure now on Nerds to try and make something happen here for the defense. First headshot's good, spam is better, and Neil even gets a 3rd kill out of it, but he's done so much to delay them, keep them pinned, that the rotation of Hunter's come in and been very effective as well. So that kill from Hunter actually puts G2 into the player advantage.
Yeah, Nerds found himself kind of stuck in a terrible position and makes the best out of it. Does a phenomenal job to get a double kill. That's a position Big never expected, so it slows down this attack and allows Hunter to add a 3rd on top of it, to once again keep a man advantage in the hands of G2. And now the danger for Big comes on the flank. They have no ability to fall back, no reverse boost into the vents. They're stuck here.
Oh, Blamef, oh, good headshot coming in, but he's not ready for that second player. So Blamef goes down, and it leaves Grix 1v2. This would be a massive clutch for Grix if he's able to pull this off. Bomb just lying in the open. He'll pick it up, scoop it into the site. Hunter peeking out. Oh, doing damage. Can't get to the kill, though. 13 seconds. Grix realizes he has to plant soon, but he's going for these fights. He's trying to take his opportunities. He's got himself a small chance, but Grix ends up getting taken down by Hunter. Good patience to get G2 another round win.
Actually, not bad at all in the 2-on-3 from Blamef, trying to recover the bomb, grabbing that kill, but there's no way you'll ever expect a second play. This one recovering a disadvantage, losing the opening engagement, but Nerds bringing him back in a 4v5, and with the help of Hunter, able to close out the round. A 3-round lead for G2. And everything playing out fine. I mean, some of the questions we would have had about this team, and some of the questions certainly through the offseason, Nerds not meeting up to those kind of rookie numbers and the level of play we expect out of him early on in his career. Wrinkle, the head-scratching pickup of the Opera for Sun Pies. Both those guys are doing good for you right now. Wrinkle 8-2, Nerds 9-3. So G2's got to be very pleased with how this is playing out, how the players are performing inside the server at the moment.
You know, Mattis trying to move up in towards A main. You've got JDC and Tabson just around the right side here. Head shows up for JDC, and he'll take some damage off the top, but JDC wins the fight, switches out to the rifle, realizes he's got the low HP, so passes that back to Tabson. And Wrinkle, oh, there's a gap here. Tantalizing indeed, and it's worked out. JDC just shows a little bit too much. Smoke break as well to give Wrinkle a second chance at the A main player.
Oh, but he stayed at the angle, got spammed down.
And Hunter now they're coming through. They line up. Beautiful. That's a double headshot. Nerds won the fight in middle, so that's around no problem. So Tabson's going to back away. And, you know, it's just crazy to see how dominant this is from G2. We know Big are going to have a decent CT side, but the problem is, are they going to have enough rounds to even play a CT side?
I like seeing Mattis I like seeing him get a little bit of aggressive there in that kind of a round. I feel like one of the rounds we saw G2 look a little bit flat on the CT side is when they played it too passive with no information. And I think against a low buy here, they're like, okay, well, you didn't rush. There's nothing fast. Let's get some information. Let's start to understand where they are. So Mattis gets killed in that aggressive push, but then everyone knows exactly what's coming, and Hunter can slide over and be in that perfect position. Round 8's going to go against Big as well. It'll be 6-2, a 4-round lead for G2, and all is said and done as Tabson walks out the door to his eventual death.
Hunter collects it, and they'll try and get back into this now. Big, they've got AKs coming out, but really not seeing anything that's making you feel too confident in them at the moment. Just getting outmatched by the individual ability of these G2 players.
The protocols too. I mean, Wrinkle's having a good game with the AWP. It feels like whenever you're sliding into the angle that he's holding, he's going to grab one. So that's very difficult to deal with at the moment. When you're getting those early warnings, G2's responding perfectly. And yet to find anything ultra successful. Very fast boost. Up over the top. JDC out in middle, but it looks like they want to pinch this A-bomb site. Wrinkle's not watching this. He's got to be really careful. They're about to turn the corner, and Nerds can't stop it.
Flash forward in towards main. Hunter running forward. Good headshot on towards Griggs. There's now Wrinkle who waits. Checking down towards Highway. You've got JDC has already pushed up a little bit closer than he might anticipate, but Wrinkle, he knows has the right idea. He goes and he clears it. JDC dead. He's ready for the next fight, but Nerds has got that as he steps through the smoke. And now Favin's left trying to piece this one together. Good double headshot. Favin actually gives himself a shot at winning this. He's got a minute left on the clock. And he's running right back to Heavy God. Gets the gun out in time and nearly has a chance there. Nice double from Favin. Just unfortunately couldn't pull off the hero play.
Lovely attempt from Favin in the 1v4 with those kills. That round, Big is just kind of dedicated to the tactic to split that A bomb site, right? You get that aggressive piece in towards A main, 1-for-1. A main is smoked off from the T perspective. The player still comes through it because he just has to make that tactic work. He has to join up with his teammates coming up Highway, steps through it to his death against Hunter. And G2 is just checkmating Big each and every round now. They have just caught fire. Switching away from the double op setup now as well, so switching things on Big one more time. In a round like this, with a low buy, looking like a straight up set piece towards this A-bomb site. 3 players at door, 1 in main, and here's the utility.
Door open. And shot for Favin. That's Mattis, who is dead, and Hunter doing what he can, but it's just the one because JDC already scaled up behind quad. It's just the speed of which Big burst out of that door that finally they catch G2 a little off.
Yeah, Hunter and Mattis not going to be happy with how they played that one. Not enough impact from the defenders, and now the retake. It feels very, very difficult, if not impossible. I think you still go for it with this money, and you've got utility. See if you can get a couple of these kills. If the nades can flush players out into the open and make things easier when you commit.
Moving up, Heavy God's rifle ready to go. Nerds, who got a chance here? His own great reactions. Gets a lot of damage onto the second player as well. Now Heavy God spamming away. No way he controls it. It's now down to JDC. A 1v2 all of a sudden. Pressure's on. He hasn't got any cover, but he's handling it well. Heavy God dead, and JDC plays that one perfectly to secure a must-win round for Big.
Yeah, Big needed a miracle there. What a big-time clutch up at the end of the day from JDC.
Well, welcome you right on back. We're going to witness our first key crush here just for a few seconds. That's Tnir holding it up and putting it in the key crusher because clearly after the woes of day one for Team Spirit, they come in here today and they try to right some of those wrongs. Tnir trying to wash away some of the problems that they had there. And I can assure you that we're going to be seeing some more of Team Spirit. Meanwhile, Luminosity with that key crush, they are well and truly on their way home out of here. At the Esports World Cup. The most psychologically interesting A-Stream match we have coming on today is going to be that M80 Aurora game. And that's just to me, of course. M80 were about 2 rounds forcing the issue against G2. Meanwhile, Aurora had its LAN debut described by Ash as hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, like the LAN debut for them was, I mean, they also went up against Big, right? I think the big storyline for that game was that Big was still a relatively drilled team, and Jacob mentioned them as being a little bit, maybe overlooked. And I think Big has, for a long time, been grinding through tier 2, and then coming into the major, looking decent, I'd say. And now moving into the new season, I still think it's a team that we need to be looking out for. A team that has a lot of understanding of obviously how to approach it. And that was just a tough thing for Aurora when there's so many new things. When you look at a team that has now picked up a new language, there's new philosophies. Ash mentioned that it's like a clash of a lot of cultures that need to be fitting. So overall, it was a pretty tough task to start with.
Yeah, it's a massive change for the entire organization, really moving into an international squad for the Turkish core to now communicate in English, right? Kixen has been on the bench for a little bit, gets into that. Ash has been out of coaching for a season, so for him to get back into the swing of things with all these new players, new pieces, it was always going to be the first couple of months of getting used to each other and figuring out, all right, how do we want to play, what's working, what's not working, how many further changes do we perhaps need to make.
Sometimes there's lineup changes that go on within the community here that people might not receive them as well. How do we think this Aurora move has been received across the big envelope of our community?
A little bit of a mix, I guess. I'm still left in a position thinking that obviously there was reasons too that Faber wanted to step down. They couldn't really find like a Turkish coach, and they didn't want to have an international coach with 5 Turkish guys. And Major, even himself, came forward saying, hey, I've done this for a long time. Maybe it's time for me to, look somewhere else. So I think it's a bit of a mix, but I'm still curious to see in the long run if they can make it work. I think it can be better than the full Turkish squad they've had. But then again, right now, it's obviously not an improvement in my books.
Yeah, in the short term, their results are going to take a hit, but always going international just opens you up to a lot more talent, right? And enables you to make changes. Like Aurora wasn't a bad team with their full Turkish lineup, but they were not going to win big events, right? They've hit their ceiling. I think that was the issue, right? They just changed, it was Calix being changed, you get different players, Del Jota, then Soulfly, that doesn't move the needle, that one change. And they couldn't make bigger changes because the talent isn't there, whether it's on the player side, on the coaching side. And you look at the caliber of players that they were able to bring. I mean, Kixan definitely got Falcons to a high level, right? Unfortunately, they couldn't win trophies with him either, but they played some good Counter-Strike. Jimmy, up until Spinks joined in MOUZ, 2 years ago, he was incredible in his sort of rookie year, right? And you're trying to sort of getting back on that level. And I think anyone outside of Aurora fans who wanted the team to remain fully Turkish should be happy, right? I think the team is better now. It has more upside, and obviously if you need to make another change down the line, again, going international, you have a lot more players to choose from.
Yeah, we can keep that going. We can pull up also the Aurora versus Big scoreboard and what that kind of looked like statistically speaking. But you're right. I think the Aurora trajectory is trending upward. Is that a fair way to put it, Dupree?
Yeah, I think so. I've always, since, I got to play in an international team, I always thought that is the way moving forward, right? Because as Cianco mentioned, you open up the pool of players. And it's always tough being a national team now. I think like it's only Russia that now at a point that they can actually, you know, yield a full national lineup. So at this given point, I think it's the right way forward. And, you know, right now it's about trusting the process and, you know, allowing themselves to find themselves and feeling it out. And in practice, they've been feeling good. Now it's about converting it, but it's still very early on. There's so many things that need to be, you know, ironing out and figuring out inside the team. But moving forward, I think this is still going to be interesting.
Well, processes. We've got some examples of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, some of these communication issues and not being on the same page. At the start of this round against Big, you see Xantares dropping some nades over. That's going to come into play later on. And Big just uses some early smokes to apply pressure, right? The night vision here for the B players, taps him with a double flash, really just to make, you know, the player in Voxic's position uncomfortable. They do the smoke break, but the player could have moved into Sunroom. That's why Voxic can't really keep holding this angle. They don't have mid control anymore, so he just smokes it. But here you can see them, they're a bit unsure how to set up, right? Like they're both looking towards vents. A third player leaned over, and then once this utility comes in from Big, they understand, all right, it's probably not going to be vents. JDC takes middle, is going to also be activated later on, and it's going to be an A play from Big with Voxic rotating over. You can see this bait setup from Vicadia and Xantares, but there's no smoke here, right? Like Xantares dropped his, Vicadia used his, and this one molly forces them out of position. Xantares gets one kill and gets traded, and now it's all Vicadia, who is the A anchor, and they know he's here. The smoke break again, slightly awkward, nothing really happens. JDC activates, makes a great play on this lurk from Highway, gets a double kill. Vicadia can't really do anything, you know, they are aware he's probably playing the smoke since he's the A anchor, and the round falls apart, right? And these are sort of like, Counter-Strike is about piecing the puzzle together and understanding what's happening on the map and all the players being on the same page. And you can see how difficult it was in this round for Aurora to do exactly that, in contrast to Big, who had full control of the round from start to finish.
And it just reminds me a little bit of when we transitioned to Vitality, you know. Some people think that, well, it's just Counter-Strike, yeah, but communication is such a big part, and it's just hard to get into the flow when you've been used to playing in your own language for so long. But also just keep in mind, it's actually just Vicadia. He's like the only guy that hasn't been inside of an international roster, so like it's probably gonna come faster than other projects, right? But this paints a picture of a team that still needs to find each other. Like the reactions, how do my teammate react, and how does he communicate and everything? And you know, it just takes time, and that's just the brutal reality as of right now.
I think the problem is also, like, it's not a problem he doesn't understand what his teammates are saying. Oh, the player is there, or he's there, I think they're going to do that. You understand everything. It's more when you want to speak. I had this when I joined MIBR as a coach, and Cole Zera, he was just like first international team, and it's like I know what I need to do. I want to ask this guy to throw me a flash and then move over here and hold this angle, right? But for me to think about how I need to say it in English and to say it by the time I get it all out, you know, the timing is gone, and this is what I struggle with. And then those are some things that are not basic communication, like that's advanced things that we're talking about, and that's probably going to take a little bit of time to sort of get on the same level for some of these Turkish players.
And that's a very frustrating situation to be in, you know.
And that's the biggest part. Like the frustration is palpable, you know, in those moments, because you're like, I have the perfect read, I just can't like, you know, put everyone in their position so he can make a play.
It's kind of where maybe Kixon finds himself currently. I mean, maybe they're trying to make it work. Hell, maybe he'll just tell us more about it himself.
We've got Kixon in Aurora ready to take to the stage. I do just want to start by zooming out just a little bit, right? Because I haven't got the chance to catch up with you since you put on this new jersey. When did you know that you were actually joining Aurora?
It was quite late, actually. It was at the end of the player break. I mean, the negotiations were like, they were for a long time, but I signed the contract towards the end of the player break, so I kind of knew that I would probably join, but it was not confirmed until the last moment, let's say.
Okay, Ash had a really nice interview yesterday with HRTV. If you hadn't had a chance to read that, go ahead and catch up on that, where he said a few things. One of the most notable is he likes working with you because you guys see eye to eye on a lot of things. Can you give me some examples, maybe, of things you have in common with Ash?
Yeah, actually, I had my first meeting with Ash a long time ago. Even like shortly after I got benched in Falcons, I was approached by him and we talked a few times before I signed with Aurora. So since the first meeting, I could see that we are similar in the game. We discussed how we want our team to play and how we want to do things like prepare for games and just all of these things connected to the game. We're on the same page, and so far it's been really good to work with him.
as much as the concept of Aurora, this new team, the reality for you is it's yourself, it's Jimmy, and then it's three guys who played for a long time together under Madge's system, right? So have you encountered any kind of teething issues in terms of getting the guys up to speed with how you want to play the game?
Yeah, it hasn't been that easy, I would say, because they're used to obviously speaking Turkish and having their own style of playing. Now I would say that it's not completely, but let's say like 90% new team, new strats, new playbook, new way of playing, new play of working, and on top of that they need to change the language. So there has been a lot of challenges in the start. Obviously, for example, Vikedia has never played in international lineup, so he needs to get used to it. So sometimes we need to remind him to be more active, to talk a bit more, and because we know he can do it, but sometimes it's a bit harder for him because of the language. So yeah, there's been a lot of things to work on, but I think we are improving we are going to the right direction, and we just need to do all of that in the official games, because in practice it's been pretty good, I would say.
And just in terms of the overall team composition, it was a question for all of us who they were kind of going to be keeping from the previous Aurora roster. It sounds like you probably weren't involved with the choice of who was staying just because you were brought on so late, but maybe correct me if I'm wrong. What was the whole conversation there?
Well, as I said, I first got approached by Ash shortly after I got benched in Falcon, so I kind of knew what their plans were and I had an idea what they want to do, but it was never 100% confirmed. I would say everything was confirmed, let's say in the middle of the player break or towards the end of the player break, so I had some kind of idea of what to expect, but I was not that much involved in doing all of these decisions.
I wish I had time to ask you more questions, but I just have one more. Obviously, it's M80 today. Could be elimination, unfortunately, for you guys, but it is a best of three. So what have you kind of looked at for M80? What are you anticipating for this one?
Well, actually, we practiced them a lot recently, so there's some things to look at. But other than that, I think what's important for us now is to just remind about our qualities, about how we want to play and how we want to do things, because I don't think we executed everything well yesterday against Big. I think we played much different than usual. So I think the first step we need to do is to just focus on our game and just doing what we are supposed to do. And then obviously M80 is a good team and we need to be on a good level to beat them, I would say.
A perfect opportunity for you guys to potentially be bouncing back. Thank you so much, Kixon, and good luck.
You might could say that Ash caught him because that's exactly what happened. Kixon needed a guy like this. Or excuse me, Aurora needed a guy like Kixon. There we go.
And Kixon needed a guy like Ash, and Ash needed a guy like Kixon. And
Ash needed a guy like Ash. And
they all
Kixon, yeah, wow.
It's a team game. Wow, it's crazy.
4D chess, which is kind of something you can expect to come out of the playbook of Ash. You know, we actually worked with him not too long ago. Really smart, really intuitive guy when it comes to the game. So it's exciting to see what they can bring to the Aurora side.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's always going to be a work in progress. I'll say it's a good thing. Too often we see an organization, change their coach, but not change the IGL. Then they, it's not done together. And I think today it's a symbiotic relationship. It's a coach plus IGL who you look at when you judge a team, how they play on T side and how they look like, and do they look structured or not, utility usage, all of that stuff. And you've got too often, a coach being given an IGL that maybe isn't aligned with him in how they view the game. And that's a problem. So for Ash being able to sort of handpick Kixon going into this project, I think that's important.
Sometimes you have to make that tandem choice, and it is weird like that. For a team like M80, where are they in the big picture? We talk about who they play against and their normal repertoire of what they have to do to prove themselves, to get themselves to these events. But Yanko, what's your diagnosis?
Well, they're up in your neck of the woods, Trace.
It's true.
North America.
A couple of them.
And it's not too great over there, let's put it that way, which is a good thing for M80 because they can get, to a lot of these tournaments playing those qualifiers where there's not really too much opposition, or just through VRS, I mean, in NA like they did to come to this event, right? But it's all nice and all to attend events, but you need to start getting some wins and you need to start getting some good results, and that hasn't been the case for M80 in 2026.
What we've got here is M80 versus G2, and in that game, how did it melt down for you?
I mean, it got close score-wise in the end, but it did feel like for the most part G2 was in control of the game, and they were able to close it out eventually. I think that's the issue for M80 when it comes to playing European opposition. The last time they beat a European team in a best of three was Aurora, and that was at that Dracula, and that no one knows why Aurora even attended, right?
in the end. But that's been the issue when they go up against these teams. You know, they've struggled to find success in 2026.
And it's exactly also just the fact that you can see on your monitor right now. It's like they're way too good for their own region, like in North America. Well, once they turn their attention to Europe, they're just too shit hero. So I mean, like that's how you want to put it, right? If you really want to cut it out, and that is just a returning issue for them. That every time they come here, they can sometimes, you know, push the favorites a little bit. They did it 13-11 against G2 yesterday. They did make it a little bit competitive, but it's like it just happens too rarely. And then sometimes even they fumble against NRP, which is in my books a team they should be beating with what they have, you know. But it's still so much up for grab for them, and it just seems like they've stagnated and can't really move forward. And whether that's because they keep true, they even have 2 Europeans, right? It's not like it's a full NA roster. So
that's what I was trying to say.
They did cross the pond to try and get a little bit more talent.
It's not enough.
No, it's not enough.
You need.
You know, and I think you're onto something there as we pop the vetoes in. M80 leaving a little bit to be desired in its current state.
Yeah, and I think it's also what Kixan was alluding to in the interview, saying they practice against each other a lot recently. That might impact the veto, and I think it has already, because Anubis was open for Aurora. They seem to have liked the map a lot, picked it a lot in some of the early series with this lineup, but instead they go for Dust 2, and they haven't won Dust 2 yet with this lineup. So Inferno for M80, one of their most played maps, really, and for the decider, we do get that Anubis. Interesting to see M80 let it through over Mirage.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also just turning back to the pick of Aurora playing Dust 2, maybe just, even though they haven't picked up a win, like just like trying to play a little bit more simple, you know. I don't know if Cash was like a little bit too advanced in the beginning. Like, it's a simple map, let's be honest, but it's still new in the map pool, right? It's something that you still need to like theory craft more on. You need to have more like data on. Whereas Dust 2, you know, everyone at this point can play Dust 2, right? It's a little bit more simple to approach if you don't always have like the right setup or the right idea.
And I think the word is reps, right?
Yeah, and I think, you know, we've talked a lot about growing pains for Aurora. I mean, there's growing pains, and then there's just pain. Yeah. And losing to M80 would be pain. You know, like, you can only use those excuses so much. These are very skilled, experienced players, you know, an experienced coach behind them, right? This is a game that you really need to win, regardless of how early it is for the lineup.
So let's do that then, because it is time for me to tell you about our EWC play pick'ems. That's where you go ahead and get involved. There should be a QR code right there. It is right below me, right on time. Thank you, production, for that. And also me telling you once more to go ahead and get that phone out and let us know who you think is going to be winning. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I want to watch some Counter-Strike, so that's exactly what we're going to do right here. It's M80 and Aurora.
It's a do-or-die affair, M80 versus Aurora. Myself and Chatty B are going to be bringing you all the action, and Aurora goes international is the headline. I can't help but see these names, additions on paper, and feel like it has to be an upgrade. Even seeing Ash behind them, of course, successes with Gamer Legion in the past, a new project. You can't help but look at this and expect to see an increase in results. However, Ash has made it clear in the HLTV headlines that things aren't all hunky-dory and smooth sailing with this move to the international stage.
Yeah, I think with Aurora, the plan is to be a top 5 team, but it's going to take some time with this international change to get there. But right here, right now, today, in Paris, we're sending one of these 2 teams home, crushing their keys and their hopes and dreams. EWC, let's get to the pistol. Defensive stance, Lake and Slacks into lower tunnels. JBA and Swisher B, they're ready for the crunch into this.
This looks like we could have early bloodshed. This was a push. And it's Lake that draws bloods, and Tara's down. Now Jimmy not prepared for this. Woxic's back was turned as well. They just crunch in, and the Jewel Beretta's feast should be round. A helpless-looking Wakadia locked out of B-Tons with the bomb on his back. And Kixan, a very loose and disconnected IGL, finding himself back at spawn.
Yeah, the tone has been set early. The fact that they brought the fight to you haven't been able to execute the plan. And if Kixan wanted to be a key part of that, this round has just reset into a 2v5 situation with 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock. So good luck, gentlemen. Here's a flash. And there's a fight. So Crunch dead, and see you later, Alligator. It might not even be a kill here unless Kixan gets something done. They'll just sit on that bomb.
Oh, 5 alive. Not a single point of damage. Can there be anything? No, it's absolutely flawless.
That's a beautiful thing for you to point out. They're going to get the free upgrades. Oh, free. They're basically free, aren't they?
Feels free.
The cheap upgrades into the head armor which goes a long way, right? You get to establish a couple more M4s, you can get some more utility behind it, make sure the kits are in play, but this came way too easy. A nice little assertive move. You missed the interview with that of Mr. Kickson, saying they've practiced M80 a little bit in recent times. That might have played into why we're on Dust 2 as opposed to Anubis. I thought they'd definitely look for some safe haven and comfortability. Is that a word?
It is. I checked today.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to some comfort. But either way, Dust 2 used to be in the wheelhouse of Aurora as well. But there's all a learning experience for everybody. This team's played 15 maps, a bunch online.
So it really is, you know, kind of, you're going to see teething pains.
Of course, right? I think the expectation for the core, who are speaking Turkish, doing a lot of 4-1 Counter-Strike.
How was that a one-shot? He must have been tagged.
They tagged him, yeah. So there's a lot, right? A change of in-game leader, change of play style, change of coaching staff, change of language.
It gets a bit uncomfortable for M80. It shouldn't be anything they can't handle.
Now, this type of round, you are going to need Woxic on this scout to get a few more tags, and people might be wondering, why is he the only one to invest in this one? Well, he'll bring out a scout again into the next, but he's given them an opportunity to make this costly, and if they can get the bomb down, that'll be a success.
Long's off limits, at least you'd hope so. Sin up against an unarmored Glock with a armored MP9. Feels like long doors is not going to happen. Just going to hope to catch a timing. Is Jimmy ever the... Oh my god, Sin didn't clear his corners. A double Glock headshot, and this just scout and 4 pistols has fallen by the wayside for M80. Wicardia's patience overlooks the corner for a moment. It's a 1-on-4 for Swish. Needs an ace clutch, and I don't think he's even going to give it a look in. What's he supposed to do to get back into this one? Oh, that's agonizing. After what was truly a flawless pistol, you end up, it almost feels like it was all for naught.
Inexplicable, really, isn't it? It should never come that easy in that type of a buy.
Just pure patience, like,
Yeah, that's an ugly start for M80.
Yeah, rough. It doesn't feel like Aurora had to do anything.
No.
You know, it's not like it was by virtue of an incredible strategy or incredible aim. It was M80 kind of opening the lion's jaws and jumping inside.
I don't know my expectations for M80, but yesterday with the G2 game going 13-11 on Mirage, felt that they were definitely in that, so that may have raised them a little bit, but losing a sloppy round like that in the early stages, a force bite, sure, an eco with a scout, not so much, and this is where Def is going to need to get on the mic very early. Yeah, that's... Somehow it looks uglier in the replay.
Yeah.
That's one of the absolute worst ways to lose a round of Counter-Strike right there.
And one of the worst ways to start an elimination best-of-3 series.
Yeah, and now the job of the coach doesn't become about actually controlling the macro or the strategy or the decision-making and trying to outplay Ash and Kickson on the other side. It's, boys, can we not tilt?
Yeah, yeah. Can you... I know it's not easy. Could you forget that happened?
Well, okay, yeah, we'll pretend.
Moving on.
M4, couple of 5.7s, MP9.
M4's for free as well.
Yeah, I was talking about that Woxic scout. Yeah, he's going to be scouting in back-to-back rounds. Yeah. No, I'm AWPing. All right, I'm the big dog. Well, let's see.
Let's get it going.
You win this, it's worth 2, Aurora.
Oh, and they got long spawns they intend to use. 3 here from the CT side. Kickson's out, parting anti-flash, but doing the dance. Jimmy's good for it. Something from Sin, more than something, everything. A double kill out of the 5-7. Now hoping to be overlooked is Swisher, just tucks car. Jaber, aggressive, clears out the tons. They have a very informed defense now. This molly is going to make life miserable for Swish. No extinguish. Has to peek, has to take the fight, and just burns down in combination with Woxic and Zentares. Job done. Mission accomplished. Wicardia lurking middle. How's Jaber's clears here? It looks like he's just going to pass short and be caught out by this. Nice shot. So from bad to worse, despite Sin's output. A very cautious Centaurus around the edge of that smoke. Doesn't stop Slags from finding something, but put to bed by Woxic.
Okay, a little bit tense there, but now it will be the eco. No other choice here for M80. As Aurora should go up to a 3-1 as far as the scoreline is concerned. Dust 2 is also a curious choice when you look at this complexion of the roster. They've only played it twice since Kickson and Jimmy have joined, and they've lost it both times, one to Nemesis and one to Focus. But again, this is LAN. They have had a bunch of online games happen while they were trying to qualify for Star Ladder. They played Blast Bounty. That was where they ended up losing in that opening round to Focus.
Perhaps those results leading to M80's choice to remove... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong series.
Aurora move Ancient, MA to remove Nuke, Dust 2 pick, Inferno pick, and then Anubis is the
okay,
third.
Aurora selecting the Dust 2.
Yeah, I was talking earlier about how my expectation was them to go into Anubis, but that's with the practice I think Kixon was talking about, that maybe they feel like they know too much about each other there.
Fair, fair.
Ash wasn't too content with how things went down in their opening cash game yesterday. He made a comment in an interview saying that leaving Spawn and they didn't have an idea of what they're up to. That's never a good sign. But a bit flustered in a best of one. The opening day of EWC, their first LAN game as well. This eco, can't expect too much. The flash forward gives us something a little bit exciting, but Jimmy's just going to farm them up, including his teammate, and Kixon will find the final onto Sin. We'll call that 3-1, and now the guns will come out. So Slack should be able to get his AWP. Rifles for the rest, and we'll see if M80 want to go back to an aggressive gambit like they did on the pistol, right? Are they going to try and set the tone? Are they going to set Slacks up for picks? Or are they going to just play some default CS? And if they're going to play default CS, then it's the timing of the re-aggressors short of holding onto your util for the blocks. We'll see the tone of the game. Jimmy heads towards upper tunnels. Kixon smokes that long corner, and so they want to path mid quite quickly here. They're just strafing top mid.
Well, this is a lot of space.
Yeah, Swish is going to get, I was going to say, a bit of a shock. He's out the way quickly, but they're still very rapid up Cat. He has a good idea considering that Incendiary has stalled them out for now.
Fullback HG catches Wicardia. Square on the jaw, 50. Taken out of his health. It to be pressure applied by the smoke. Has pulled the defender away, so rather light. A lot of pressure likely onto Slacks if they go for the A finish.
Real lack of utility now for the CT side to continue to block, and still a minute on the clock. I'm going back towards upper tunnels, so with the lurk smoke in, they can turn this into a B execute.
See how long Lake holds onto that smoke? He's still got one. There it is.
They've got that third man cheating over as well as part of this. So they're reading the situation quite well at the moment, M80.
You're in the right place. How proactive is Lake on this? 38 seconds. Yay, just walking. Wasn't anticipating presence. Remaining silent was Centares, but deadly. There's Lake on the trade. Needed another. Unable to provide with the white screen. Jimmy can, though. So that's the B-side breach and should be round.
Yep, save.
Good luck with that.
Oh! It might entice them a little bit more. The bomb hasn't been planted yet. Sin activating top mid, looking for a little bit of room.
How often I see Orpers go for that shot. So rare I see them hit it.
Still looks like they're just going to opt for the save here. Looked like Sin wanted to activate, but with no kit between the two of them.
Yeah, it would feel a bit half-hearted, wouldn't it?
And the loss bonus of 2,900 into the next leaves them in this situation where the two of these individuals could drop, or they take a lighter upgrade on the other three, take essentially a save of their own, and get a full buyout for everybody into the next round. So choices to be had, but the scoreline can't be denied.
It already feels like Aurora have built quite the bank. I think that second round has really given them quite the gift.
And, you need to, I know we're not in the best of one territory anymore, but especially when you're playing as the underdog, those opportunities, you know you have to take, as they will take everybody with them. Sin, removing Woxic and Jimmy, so they have to be the full rebuys. That cash is going to be dug into, but no issues there. So they're making the choice right now, M80, of if they wanted to go for the force with the drops, or if they wanted to take the eco. Looks like they're going to go for the shove.
Ooh, Neighbor spotted crossing close B, so that's going to put him in a bit of a box. Need to smoke to bail him out.
It's a default spread this time from Aurora. Right, last gun round, they just waltzed straight up Cat. This time round, they're going through the motions. Another molly to hold Swish at bay. And the pressure on the mid to B. Really trying to condition this side of the map early. This time they don't have the stack with the extra man if there is that follow through.
Already liking what I'm seeing from Aurora's T side. Keeping the CTs vigilant across the map.
This is going to be tough for these two boys to hold on to. Sure, a smoke and an incendiary to work with. The first of the two just baited out now.
But I mean, 38 seconds on the clock.
But still, the rotation's not there. The mid to B smoke's up. If you cross middle, you could be going past an AWP holding the line. So this is where it has to be the shutdown from JBA and Lake, or round is over.
Lake's in a good position, starting loading his mag, and he will do just that. Combination, JBA gets 2. Just the one back. Ooh, Woxic gets away with it on the fade of the smoke. Now, Lake was last seen back plat. Woxic hasn't acknowledged that. Should be easy for Lake to put this one in. Woxic 1 versus 3, and Slags has got him on the doors.
Good job by the B defense.
Yeah, truly. I mean, JBA was spotted up close, acknowledged with the MP9, and still finds output on the B finish.
If they lost that round, their M80, you think that starts to force the hand of them, right? You can call the bluff, obviously, but in moments, okay, we can't just give them map control. We have to fight mid, short, lower tunnels.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you might be playing exactly into what Kixon and Ash are looking for. The fact that they've stood strong here means that they're not in control of the rhythm, but they've at least stalled out the plans of Aurora as far as the long game of this half goes, and you can see that resulting in a tactical timeout from Aurora. First call by Ash. With the money starting to run a little bit thin on a couple of the players, it does give them the opportunity to discuss how they're going to wield the scout of Woxic that was the hero on round number 2. Kixing in with a Galil. Jimmy will be able to get himself the AK and all the nades, and the same to be said for Wakardia alongside of Centares. Acknowledging the spawns. Not the best long spawns in the world, but they want to open into round number 7.
So they're going to go for the second timing.
They start at 4A.
Coming straight out. On the extinguish, tracking's good, has Sin low, but they don't know about Lake. A little bit of a bait and switch potential here. Are you going to be expecting a second man tucked in the pit? Backs are turned, but still not easy on a mechanical level for Lake to be able to find the multi necessary now. He will be overlooked. I say that, looks like they're considering it. Swisher, good setup. Just the one trade by Wakardia in the pit side by side. He's got to choose this. Perfect. Gets 1, gets 2. A transfer into Jimmy's. Noggin has him 2 HP. Still up for debate. Sweep and a miss. Slags can't afford to miss another one of those. Centares onto the site. Looking to punish them. They're going for a boost over the smoke. It's perfect. A nice adaptation.
Well, at least that's info for Jimmy on where both of these players find themselves, but low HP. Yet to get that bomb. Just going to scoop it up now, and opting for the reroute is Slags. Giving the room to work is JBA, and that 4A start out of M80 has paid dividends.
I don't think there's many pros, Chad, you put into a 1v2 with this health against these players. I don't think many people are getting out of it.
Especially not with a HE and an incendiary, right? Because if he goes to plant that nade lance, he's a dead man. So at this point for Jimmy, you'd feel he needs to force the fights, but they could have gotten off to anywhere, and they're giving him enough rope to hang himself. So you really feel for the young Finn in this one. Tough to clutch around like this when you're not being offered any opportunities.
Gosh, you're so right. If he does go for that plant, eventually there's going to be an incendiary and a HE in the air.
If he mollies short, like the back off right now for Slacks, because they have to acknowledge the possibility of around the world. So that might be deep enough that the nade may not make it.
He praised it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. They understood the dink, right? The communication was there. Lake, massive impact. So denying the B site, they play a heavy A setup. So right now, you feel that M80 are in control of the rhythm because this is going to put Aurora back in a partial buy eco territory.
It is funny to say that Sin being spotted and naded actually set Lake up there.
And more of that nameplate Counter-Strike, isn't it? All right, well, we've seen this one before. Wakardia with a scout, 3 Glocks and a Deagle for Jimmy. See if they can pull off another heist.
Surely M80 have learned their lessons from their foot fault, round 2.
You're going to get a slow round out of Aurora here. Just see if they get any of those oversteps that they're able to punish.
And Lake's not playing too scared.
Now, I think that's one of the balances you have to strike. There's certain maps where, you know, if you give Deagles too much room and then you try and jiggle into angle, you're a dead man walking. You need to give the respect. Right? You have to play your anti-pop setups in rounds like this, but you want to take your chances.
One hell of an aid.
Yeah, that's looking beautiful to me. Gosh. Oh, this will just be a farm fest now. Okay, Centares. Makes the scout work for one, but 4 staying alive. And M80 have course corrected since the pistol win and the scout loss in the second. So, got 4 straight from Aurora, now 3 back as we move into round number 9. The Woxic AWP not present, so another scout for the man. Woxic can find a tag through the doors on this one. That's the HE. Fires away. Doesn't get what he was looking for. But they are ready to fight mid, so they're not going to allow Aurora to have default space without a fight. You want lower, you want mid control, we're going to brawl.
Is very audacious from Lake. That flash has got his name written all over it from Kixon. Does have the white screen, and oh! He's been spotted retreating. Lucky to get away with his life there, just to go in the spine. Now Slacks is blind. This util all connecting. And now the scout bullet too. So Swisher limping. Lake 34 HP.
They're going to turtle up
Wait,
now.
Swish, he's kind of committed?
Yeah, he needs backup. Sin's coming. They're going to try and retake this control.
Okay. Flash better be brilliant. They are lining up the molly at the perfect time. Still anti-flash is Jimmy. Perfect turns in. Sin needs the multi. Can't provide. 4 on 3. Dust will settle.
Now they could just whir this one into an ace split. Their problem is no utility on the T side for the long cross, and that's where the bomb is. So we get done with bullets.
Yeah, but Slacks has got so much work to do with the double swing. He should be caught and traded. He knew he was a dead man. They know Lake and JBA, the B players, likely disconnected from the A site.
They'll need a cross.
Sure.
Run boost.
I like the idea. Flying Zentares. Oh, hang on. He slipped off the head. Lake is there. And they get the frags.
All right, well handled. Gets a bit of calm in that one, and back into the winning ways. Taking stock right now with a buy. Slacks can bring out the AWP. Means that Swish might have to operate on something a little bit lighter. There's that choice to make. Do we want to... No, they've been able to make the drops work, so... They have a quote-unquote full buy. Even have a kit on Swish, so this one should work out. Zentares is making a biffy move here, straight down suicide.
Oh, jumps across as well, gets 2 green box.
Not sure his smoke was meant to go through the doors.
No, I think he's flubbed it. And it results in Lake being able to push through those doors and find an opening off of Slacks' flash. You've got your opening now. Are you ready for Wacardia so close? Can he use that smoke, a mist-thrown smoke, to have an element of surprise? Slacks is not surprised at all. His eyebrows didn't even flinch.
Well, there's a mid-door smoke coming to land on top of the door right now, so let's see if they can turn this 3v5 around. They have a lot of time to work with, but you think this was a confirmed round now for M80. Those opening kills coming quite easily. Now this is the type of round with the utility you have. Get the jiggles out as soon as you find contact of players, block them, and redo your setups based on the information. Swish is staying active towards long, so this will inform either the mid to B, the B, or the short play. Good amount of information to eliminate a few of the options.
Flank through, bomb spotted on the radar. Swisher gets that info.
Hesha plays life now. Right, he really should have had that kill, but it's okay. Right, you've got the info, you saw the bomb.
Wow, Lake finding 2 on that. Just stands at the doors and welcomes the duel. He is delivering in the fragging department as he's supposed to in this roster. Up to 11 frags as well. Didn't fall foul to the split in the attempt to recover a 3v5. But yeah, those openings did come a little easy in that one for M80.
And lack of plants as well for Aurora have limited their opportunities now with the...
Nice shot.
Another partial buy. Woxic has 5k, but everyone else is not in a position where they can bring out AKs. But we'll see what comes out of this second tactical timeout from Ash.
I'm not surprised to see a timeout here, and maybe even just for the finances, but even just that round. Those are the rounds he was talking about where it's just like, well, we've lost the round in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, and those are very frustrating. It's really bad when you have to go, guys, can we not die on the first timing?
Yeah, like the quickest you could die,
Normally that's the worst for the CT side. It's like, just block. Can we just block? Let's just block.
Or even just, let the CTs throw some grenades before we're dead.
Oh, they are going to buy here. Okay. I guess because Woxic is able to facilitate this glass cannon AWP.
Wow. There's a lot of faith in the boy to find some impact on the cross.
Yeah, so a bunch of Tech 9s, a Galil in the mix. This is going to be a tough round for Aurora.
152 and shoot! Oh, Lake's got 26 to work with. He's
Out
always
long.
good for it, and out long for free. That's a lot of real estate.
Yeah, so Jimmy with a lot of space. This is going to apply pressure here. They already have this short control, and they even went for an extinguish on that T-side short molly. So the space is held from Slacks for now. Sin is aware of the possibility, but just because you know they could be there doesn't mean you actually believe they are. Sin was doing an awful lot of talking. The in-game leader has no support whatsoever until Slacks makes it back to top A. You can get the AWP in pit. You can start to orchestrate around from here.
I mean, Chad, it is minimal on the utility. Doesn't matter if they swing into you, though. Woxic rewarded, catches Sin. First blood drawn, and not too much information either for M80.
No, well, hey. The AWP's long. That's about all you got right there. Starting to gravitate, taking a gamble, looking for a fight. They've left B.
Partnering up and starting their clears. Kixon, though, with this low HP on Lake, he's susceptible to a Tech 9 bullet. Will pull back. Swisher won't.
Running out of time now. About to be 35 on the clock.
Yeah, but he's going to be a disruptive force on this short side. A forward position, ready for this headshot angle on the uncrouching Zentares, but he's managed to play it very well, and that's a dead man. And now a missed AWP shot. Things are spiraling out of control. M80, it just falls through their fingers. Well, this round rewarded off the back of the timeout from Aurora. Starts with a glass cannon AWP and a leg shot on doors and ends with 5 alive and the bomb down.
Oh, another one for those Aurora boys in this half of play, right?
Yeah.
I was surprised to see that buy. But Woxic, he's had scout output, he's had AWP output. All right, now they're looking to take it all away. JB8 noted towards car. He's hunting with that Mac 10 as Ricardia. Peppered through the doors, but gets to stay alive for now, and he's got some support coming his way to rip these away for the final round of the half. How many bodies do they want to throw on the line for this? And Taras gives it a go, and remember, Lake got tagged to start off the round, so bomb about to go off. If they find this, they've wiped the board, and that's pretty damn impactful. You've got 1.8k for Lake. You've got 3.5, 3.4 for Sin and Slacks. You've got 2.7 for JBA, and then Swish is the high end at 4.3. So a rough final round of this first half. But Def has been... Oh, I'm going to give him the credit for this, but he's been successful, at least making sure they didn't just tilt off the face of the earth after round number 2.
Yeah, it's still a competitive scoreline.
For sure.
Regardless of such a brutal, demoralizing second round of play.
Another 4-man A start from Aurora. Excuse me, from M80. They've moved away from the B hits since they were shut down by JVA and Lake earlier in the half. And now returning to it on the final rounds by the looks of things. Bombing upper tunnels, 2 combing through lower. B fake utility. They're hoping to draw a rotation so these, yeah.
And they got it. Swisher.
B players can play the rotation. Very well done.
He was caught in transition. Beautiful way to manufacture that opening.
But they are going back into the stack, right? Because Lake started long. Normally a B defender alongside a JBA.
Sin. Oh, perfect. Jimmy just started to pre-aim. Into the wall. Sin with clawback kill, but Zentares onto Slacks really nullifies the defense. Up close, maybe Lake's got a chance on that pistol to close the gap. Hoping to be overlooked, hoping Sin can provide. Last round, you got to give it everything it's worth. And yeah, Workadi has decided to end it. Nice double. Transfers in for that double headshot. Now JBA, the last to fall. Aurora 7, M80 5. After picking up that pistol, after having their face melted off in the second.
Embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, it's a half. It is a half. So I'm not writing this one out for M80 at this point by any stretch of the imagination. They definitely pulled themselves back into things.
I have, however, and I can't, this is an unfounded opinion, feel like I've seen M80 sometimes have competitive halves and then kind of disappear into nothingness in a second half. They have the capacity to do so. Obviously, a 13-11 versus G2 here at EWC. They've pushed it to every round of regulation that sent them here into this elimination bracket.
There's moments of excitement with the M80 roster, right? They have some games where it's like, oh, you got to pop off here. But then when you see them against the bigger names, or I guess we just go European names.
Sure.
Traditionally, their wins are few and far between.
But like, the way in which Swisher died there, that's what European teams will force you to do. You know, you're reacting, you're caught with a grenade out, you're getting kind of pulled around the map. But a 5-7 scoreline, let's see what this pistol gives us.
4-man ace start from Aurora. Bomb outside long. You've got one man, that's going to be Zantara's solo B with these dual Berettas. They played for an aggressive A start. Now they're able to rotate back. A mid-door smoke and a short molly to try and grab them a bit of space. And they have a second wave of U2 on Sin. It looks like they were hoping to force a rotation, which have done to some degree. They want to try and finish this round in an A split, 3 through long, 2 through short. Voxic will be receiving them on long. You've got a Goose set up with Wakadia and Jimmy to assist. That Jimmy flash can help out on either side.
Voxic's P2000 can be deadly. Evasive maneuvers, doesn't stop Sin from getting his head blown off. Nice one back, gooshed is Voxic. Slax just needs to put one bullet into the Kev. Jimmy solid as a rock. Lake JBA gone. He's still standing on the site as well. Do you dare take these fights? USP versus P2000. He's recovered it off of Voxic's corpse, but there's so many bodies. A headshot to Jimmy. Need to finish some of these kills and unable to do so as Jimmy's on for 4, denied by 1, and it's Zantara's to close it down. Triple out of the fin. Aurora off to the races in the second half.
Okay, well, I don't imagine they're going to have a similar...
a foot fault?
Look, it's so hard to see around with Glocks and a Scout winning. Like that should happen 1 out of 20 times.
Yeah.
I could see Slacks bringing the Scout right now, and he's definitely proficient with the scope rifles, but looks like they are just going to take the eco.
Such good output out of Jimmy in the pistol.
And Voxic brings some energy. This is the man that has the most experience of the Turkish team in an international squad, right? Our sports famer once upon a time as Wakadia and Zantara's assertive, aggressive, and looking to farm up some eeks here. They're going to make light work of this one as the final frag comes in. And that'll be that, 9-5. Treating it like a job right now.
And if I'm deaf, I'm just writing in my book. That's how it's supposed to look.
All right, well, trapped with the AKs. Inferno up next, Anubis if we need it. And then we've got Astralis versus Falcons as the final game of the A stream to round out the day. So plenty more Counter-Strike coming your way. We've also got the B stream raging on. So let's see if this one has any more twists and turns. Aurora win this. The loss bonus 2,900. If the bomb doesn't go down, it's partial by territory. And well, we'll see how quickly they can run away with the game. Good enough.
It works.
Given a lot of room. It looks like once they take the short control, then the trap's going to pounce. So Flash at the ready, Voxic and Zantara's paired up with Kixon's utility.
Why does it look like it's going to be a perfect flash? Oh, Lake actually brings the fight ahead of it, enables and facilitates a trade from Sin. 4-on-4, nade dump.
I think in that situation on the CT side, you're waiting for the windowsill molly to come land at the brick box, and then you activate.
Right, makes
sense.
sense.
They didn't get the util tell, and that's why the surprise came in. The pivoting now, back out the long doors with the bomb. JBA hanging around middle, and he's got a bunch of utility to sell him into B or put some pressure on. So right now, split in a 2-2. It's going to be tough for Kixon and Voxic.
Especially considering just a FAMAS for Kixon up against the AK-47s at range. Not easy fights. He's looking the wrong way as well. This is such a committed position from Kixon. He's in trouble behind the single box. Trying to maintain short control as best he can, but will swing to his demise. Voxic very loud on the leg break. Bad smoke on the cross. He can exploit that. They don't have another to replenish it. JBA is the only one with it from short. And he just goes for it. A straight YOLO maneuver. Now into a 2-on-2. This is not looking good. This is ugly. Sin and Slacks, the two Germans, side by side, and now just Slacks. He's been caught through the car. Uncomfortable is Slacks in the clutch. And he's been spotted out. The jump spot from Wakadia, and an easy pick for the finish. Felt like he really had a golden opportunity there. Multiple bodies on long, but a missed smoke.
Yeah, I'd love to see how that unfolded. Was it just misthrown? Was it? It couldn't
Presumably,
have been blocked.
it wasn't
blocked. So yeah, I'm going to be frank. You can be machine.
Yeah, okay.
But that ain't good enough.
It's not. So there's a couple of them. There's a couple of these, rounds that would have a big, red highlighter over them that you need to discuss. You go 1 for 1 in your opening exchange. You find the site player.
You see the idea. They've gone, hey, Jay, but we've missed the smoke. Can you come help us out?
Yeah.
And they've tried to piece it together, but it's meant to be cleaner. It's not meant to be desperate every turn like that. So 10 to 5, 5-round gap, partial buy. Decent looking partial buy. A couple of Galils to complement the pistol upgrades and util. So see if there's any fight in them. Another assertive stance.
Zentara's getting aggressive.
I'm loving it. I am loving it.
I don't think Swisher is. Yeah, brutal. Head smashed. Lake trades from lower tons.
Good amount of damage done onto Lake here as well from Zentares. Do like the fact that in these rounds, they are using him as a weapon. Oh, hello. And thank you very much.
No. Oh, it was a really cool idea as well.
What are you meant to do?
Like, I'm on the other side of the door, so like it blows the smoke, but it doesn't do any damage to me.
And then I have vision.
And I have vision, so does the guy that's right behind
me.
Oh, sheesh.
Okay. At least we're having fun.
I like that. I really like that. I'm sure Lake didn't, but... Okay, here we go. That's actually one hell of a clawback. Kickson's flank gets... one. Trade? Yes, indeed. Sin provides.
Oh, there's a real round now. 45 seconds, 2v2. All on A.
I'm
Jimmy
scared
on
of
B.
Woxic and Jimmy, so I don't know where I want to go.
If they trade 1 for 1.
Sure, okay.
Oh, they divide and conquer.
Oh, okay. Do you assume they grouped up? No, you don't, because you're
believe
Woxic
it.
and you're smart and you hold long instead. Catches the swing of Sin. Job done. Bomb long. Slacks 25 seconds and he's crouching towards his prey.
Jimmy might have him here in a moment. Oof, Jimmy's playing safe.
Woxic audible. And hits the heady. 1v1 versus Jimmy. 15. Has he even got the time?
Save, bud.
Jimmy's got him with his knife out, pants around his ankles. Awkward. An 11th for Aurora.
I guess give it a go in the sense you were going to buy in this next round anyway. So
nice little team ace from Aurora to bring home the 11th, and it is what? Timeout time.
Second from Def. First he used after the second round of the first half. So it's been a long time between drinks. Here it is. Hi.
Such a cool idea. Woxic's awareness to assume, or at least be cognizant of the possibility that they did divide and conquer, as opposed to at a 2v2 staying together on the T side. I mean, fair play. Fair play. Unless Orpa's caught looking at short after that molly is thrown. And we would go back to back. How often you see that? From Def to Ash.
Yeah, this is interesting, just people maybe not knowing this, but if you could take all 3 of your tactical timeouts back to back to back, right? If you wanted to turn it into a minute and 30, you're more than welcome to do that. Now, obviously, this is opposing coaches, but it's curious. Maybe he didn't like the way that the timeout ended, or he's just had a premonition. He looked across and he's gone, hold up, I know what that signal means.
Right.
I hope they keep up the aggression just to be jarring. You're not letting M80 be comfortable. I understand that the rounds they did it on were an eco and then a half buy. But imagine if you did it now. You got Wakadia with a good lower tunnel spawn. Woxic with a good long spawn. He could just take the AWP there, post up. But full buy for M80. Last one they'll likely have unless they can start connecting a couple of rounds. Woxic will take the AWP towards long.
And again with this aggression, the audacity to go for it again. You get exactly what you wanted. Will it be the same result for Swisher? Flash does catch him. Swisher just trying to get that lower molly thrown. And oh, Sin caught out. Another for Zentara is asking too much. Important from Lake and Swish. You have the advantage, a necessary round. Cannot afford to slip up now.
And they're waiting for another CT reaggress. So much time, there's no need to rush your M80. Kickson might just walk straight into this AWP. Perfect. Woxic and Jimmy in a 2v4. Well, hold up. They're all together and all coming through short into the AWP. If they go contact,
There's
all right,
some
there's use at least.
Jimmy, Woxic standing their ground.
Oh, no.
Now you got to get past that Woxic up on long. Do you want to just run B?
Yeah, they are. They've got time for the pivot. It will make the retake much harder for Woxic.
Yeah, it goes from looking like it almost favored him to looking quite the opposite.
Yeah, and he doesn't have much cash at all, so should see the save coming through. In the previous 2 rounds, only 2 staying alive and then 1. And now with Woxic having to hold on to this, we will get a few more rounds of Counter-Strike.
Is that enough to deter you? Your aggressive round didn't quite bear fruit this time? Do you go back to a more standard setup?
I think you will, but you're also going to have a buy off of 1,400 loss, right? So Jimmy's going to have more than enough to buy. It should work out, right? There might be one emission in the mix, but they're going to be close to what they're looking for in terms of the buy department. All right, so all retained. 6th round posted. So Zentaras and Kixon can both go M4s, but light on util. Jimmy can have a full buy. Woxic could drop something to Wakadia, or he can buy a FAMAS or an MP9 of his own. Okay, that's it for the timeouts.
Everyone's used them,
Yeah,
okay.
all expended as M80. That they need to convert consecutive to get back into this game. You humble the finances of Aurora, you force them into an eco position, the scoreline likely to resemble 11-8 at that point, and then the guns will come back out. So you can see Aurora are making this buy work, and you were asking the question about aggression. If they go for M4s on Zentaras and Kixon instead of MP9s and util, I think that they probably could go for something aggressive again, right? The nade's being juggled, Kixon gets a full bell. They have 5 smokes at least for their openers to block long, to block upper tunnels. Orp starting short. They'll have to worry about the boost.
Oh, no, you don't! Woxic! That is filthy!
Yeah, just beelined for that fight immediately.
No fear. And no chance. Slack slumped in his chair. You've just discussed it. You've had time out to really think about it, and your round ends in the opening.
And interesting, with that kill coming in early, they've started 3B, right? Zentaras, that rotating A rifler, has started over towards the B side. So they were hedging for a mid to B or a B pop. Woxic gets the AWP opener, and well, now this round is the debate. They still want to finish towards A by the looks of things. Woxic AWP on long.
Ooh, Sin gets info and out. Space as well on the short side. Kicks him nothing. Empty hands for him. Woxic posts a second, a third available. Tracks on Swisher. Can they fell the Southpaw sniper? It takes everything into a 3-on-2. Bomb to be planted and a retake to take shape.
I wonder if they wait for Wakadia. He's gone through backyard T-spawn, so he's going to be a very long way away from this.
Looks like Jimmy and Zentaras having a conversation.
They're looking for the boost over this smoke.
Okay, Sin recovers the AWP. Not typically his weapon of choice. Got JBA a lot of responsibility, and Sin, yeah, just gets jiggle baited by Wakadia. Now he's going to get run down. He's lost his teammate. He's fallen through the cracks. He's in jeopardy now. Has to hit that, and he has one-on-one, and Jimmy jumps into his jaws. Sin on the sniper for 4. We keep this party going. One hell of a clutch. After that first miss, I thought it was cooked.
I don't like it when I have to be a stick in the mud, but that was very individual there for the finish of Aurora. Just putting their bodies on the line for the trade. I know they're on the pressure of the clock of the bomb, but not connected. You could, the last 2 there highlighted exactly. Oh, well, I thought they were full eco in this situation. Aurora gone for a buy again, okay.
Woxic like the AWP, felt great.
Remember now, Ash doesn't have any more timeouts, so...
He's just watching through his fingers.
You wonder if this is a tilt buy with how they let that slip away?
We'll find out very quickly.
Oof, it's left a bit of a taste.
If I'm Lake, I'm begging Swish for a swap. Come on, man. You can have all my nades and a MAC-10. What do you think?
I'm just looking for 5-man long finish by the looks of things. Swish will probably just come and join this, make sure the flanks aren't possible. If you're the CTs in this scenario and you don't have util to stall them out on the cross, you have to hope that you can capitalize in the chaos somehow, and they're all over towards short, so I'm not sure how you're meant to win this round if you're Aurora.
A cross smoke good? It is. You're walking into a real trap. Good headshot. The boost works out. Zantara's able to track a second. JBA did not know where he needed to be putting his bullets. And now that Swish late arrival feels like he's just going to walk into Jimmy. A free frag on a silver platter unless Swish hits it on the full commit spray. Dead now. No! What? How is he getting so much output on the low HP? Fair play to Swish. He's already getting dapped up.
Zantara is going to give this a look. It'll have to be the ace.
All right. Ace from Zantara is not out of the realms of possibility. Has to fight backwards now with the flame at his feet. Maybe that's enough.
Yeah, save it. All right. I really thought we might have seen an eco come out of them in that round, but wanted to go for the shove. 11-7 will become 11-8. Zantara saves the AK. Loss bonus 2,400 going into the next. So it has to. I say it has to.
It doesn't
have to be anything. Convention says take an eco. Use the AK.
You need 2 rounds.
Zantara's is playing well. He's assertive. He's in your face, hitting some nice shots. This is where I might just look at Ash.
Yeah.
And see the level of potential disappointment in the next round call he might get.
No chance for them to call another timeout. Both coaches have burned through all 3. It's just up to the 5 in the server. This boost was quite inspired. It really worked out. Kixon setting up Zantara's to succeed. It was actually, I mean, miraculous from Swisher.
How the man was able to find so much output there.
And somehow only take 19 damage on that bullet. I don't know. I don't know.
Played his immunity idol in that one.
Yeah, I think he did. He certainly did survive. And Jimmy's down to 25. Zantara's go kill.
He fights against JBA towards lower tunnels, who just has a Mac 10. Now that AK is noted, you would think at this point you want to start accelerating elsewhere to take some space. Now, again, you don't know it's these light pistols, but you can make a safe assumption. So they can hurry things up a little bit. Use their firepower and utility advantage. Torres trying to get there in time, but here comes the execute.
There's a lot of CTs. Closer than you may imagine. This spot and removes Antares first. So that was a priority target. Everything else will fall into place nicely for a 9th. Those Mac 10s, those deliberate Mac 10s, proving very useful. Lake's been finding a lot of impact.
I like the choice of Lake there as well, though. He noted that I'm just going to kill this guy. Let's not give them the opportunity to... If you're too scared, this is what I'm talking about with the anti-eco balance. There needs to be a level of aggression coming out.
You can't give too much respect.
It's not. You're not just aiming for the objective, right? You know that you have to take these duels when necessary. So M80, a 2-round gap now, as they are building up a little bit of speed in this second half. Where you ask yourself, if they manage to get the conversions off the back of the pistol, how much closer to that magic number of 13 could they be already?
Sure, true. A recovered half regardless in that first. And looks like there might be a recovered half here in the second as well.
So full buy for Aurora. Woxic has his AWP. There's only 1 kit. Slacks looks like he wants to jump suicide. So just going to look for a tag on the cross, not having the boost early.
His rival Orpa might peek on that HE explosion. He did go for that crouch peek closed door.
Did they just go for a B-pop? Yeah, they are. This is going to be a much earlier timing. They've been doing a lot of defaults, so B-pop coming.
It's only Jimmy here, but he is
playing anti.
One hell of an anchor.
Woxic can break the door smoke as well.
Jimmy, what have you got, lad? A lot of work to do in the first. An easy pick. Nice from Swish on the trade. Woxic kept at bay by the flame. Heavy nade onto Swish's face.
This round should be impossible to retake. Just look at how much utility M80 have.
He's going through. He wants to deny that plant. Macardia gets him off it. Awkward now. Lake on the trade. Ambitious. You don't have to retake if you can stop the plant, I suppose. And Zantara's catching flak from Swish through that smoke. Puts him low. Resmoke doors.
Multiple. They are so flustered right now.
It's so stressful.
All that extra U2 was meant to hold Aurora at bay. This round is back on in a big way with that heads-up play from Wakadia.
You've still got one flash on Woxic. They might be discussing how to utilize it. Lake departing or just worried about that tons. Bomb down this time. There's that flash. Kicks it through the window. He's quick on this. Ahead of their expectations. Slacks needed that. Combat AWPed onto Kixon. 2-on-2. All to play for. You got Woxic on the window side. Zentares just AWPing tons. Lake overextends. He is a dead man into Zentares' crosshair. Oh, caught on the jump up. Lake an overextension, punished by the AWP, but needs the no-scope. Slacks on one. Pistol would have done it. Can't hit it on the no-scope. It's the USP from Zentares. And he pulls it off with a second to spare.
Some of these rounds, I'm having a tough time. Like, Wakadia with that play, he hasn't had... Oh, it's down to the wire as well. He didn't want to mess about finding a kit, because there was a kit, and that is right down to the wire.
Oh.
A bit of a roller coaster around that one, I think.
It was. It really was. Of course, it was unconfirmed damage. Swish's random smoke spam. He didn't know he had Zentares within a single bullet.
Jimmy gets his, right? But at this point, they're in the site. It's a first timing. They haven't feigned a default. They haven't used util short. They haven't tried to get map control elsewhere, which means you have smokes, you have mollies, you have HEs, you have flashes, but you didn't have the doors covered.
Oh, wow. This is just the first map. We've got a fun one today. Look at Woxic on the wall. He's not even worried about top swing. He just knows that they're going to be doing that after the smoke. There's a flow chart to M80. Pulls back as the smoke arrives. Respects the util. Space conceded. Chip damage onto Swisher. Re-aggress for Zentares. They're setting him up to succeed. Swings on the flash and isolates a freebie. Swisher completely booked. An opening kill in pursuit of that magic number. You've got the advantage now. If you're M80, can you overcome the absence of Swisher and find a finish? Crisscross. Just Lake, though. I try and play it slimy, but this is very smart from Jimmy. He's positioned himself to punish anyone that dares push through on the crisscross smokes, and nearly got blocked by the view model, but Lake's the next man on the naughty list. Looking good for Aurora. They line up, running into B. Wakadia nearly the double kill to end the round. JBA had the bomb.
Sin has to move. Look at the time.
Yeah, he's a dead man. Oh, it's ugly, and that is map. Dust to Aurora's pick, going Aurora's way.
Yeah, dominant stuff in terms of the opening kills, but the scoreline tells a different story. That was cumbersome at points, but one map away from staying alive and sending M80 home.
Yeah, and a pretty picture right there painted by Aurora across the canvas that turned out to just be M80 getting pushed around quite a bit. On Dust 2, first map of this series. We'll look at Inferno next, but not before we try to put some loose ends here to make them meet. I've got Yanko, I've got Dupree, my name's Trace. We're at the Esports World Cup in Paris. Elimination game at that, gentlemen. Some stuff on the stake here.
Yeah, it was good to see the fact that Aurora managed to close this one out. They got a bit dicey in the end, and I think that 1v3 clutch from Sin, that gave, at least they made a little bit of, confidence that they could maybe close it out. I think it came down to a couple of good retakes from Aurora, but also you could tell that the opening kills was something that really went in the favor of Aurora, and that also netted them the majority of the rounds, and it was good to see that they had something planned out right. It seemed like they made fewer mistakes, even though this game wasn't the most pretty one that we've ever been casting or looking at, but at least looking at the game, no one really dropped the ball like heavily in terms of their raw side.
Yeah, the mistakes were definitely made on the side of M80. I think it's fair to say in a couple of different key rounds. We'll get into that a bit later, but yeah, I think you're just seeing, these details matter and small things become big things, and just some lack of discipline, some basic mistakes in key rounds have cost M80 this map.
But for what it's worth, M80 bring the fight right. They're delivering us a series from the looks of it to a degree.
Yeah, they definitely did. Even with how it all started, right? They won a flawless pistol round. But then when they went into the conversion, they ended up losing to just a single scout and a couple of Glocks. You know, it's not really the start that you want to be seeing, but you know, they tried as much as they could to keep the composure going. And you know, even when they turned then their attention to T side, they had struggles finding the openings, they had struggles finding the rounds at the beginning, but once they, you know, the individual scout was in front, it got closer, but then in the end, you know, the mistakes, they kind of piled up in a couple of crucial moments, and, you know, that's just what it is, you know, if you make more mistakes than your opponents, you will also lose.
Yeah, we have so many rounds to go over. I mean, it's just pretty much the synopsis of the game to a degree. And a lot of them are going to have some individual performances too, like some moments of absolute clarity there. I'm thinking about moments of outside of long A, for example, when we've got to push M80 just full in there in control, and they're pushing all the way through long, and they just fall into the trap card of Aurora. It's like they know. And so the question becomes, is this a fingerprint, a little bit of what Ash and company are putting together?
I mean, some early signs, absolutely. You can see that Aurora has some good protocols. They have some good ideas, right? Like, that's always going to be the easier part for them, right? Like, that's theory. You go in, dry on a server, install things. This is this setup. This is that setup, you know? But it's once the round breaks down and you get into 4v4s, 3v3s and all that stuff, it's like when things become a bit more dicey for the communication to flow and everyone to be on the same page.
Yeah, and I really wanted to just dive back into what I think was one of the good things for round 2 specifically was, you know, I think this is one of the things that Kixon brought over from Falcons. We've seen Manisi do this as well, where you just pick up one scout and have a couple of blocks instead of just going full eco. And, you know, this scout also, you know, it creates space for you, and Voxic finds the first kill onto leg, right? And then this is one of the mistakes that, you know, I kind of wanted to point out, like, it's 40 seconds on the clock, and, you know, it's just Glocks they're going against. There's, like, no utility at this point that's been thrown out. They know it's probably just one scout. They should be able to hold on to their own. Like, Sin doesn't have to push long this given, because as soon as he dies, he's open enough to flank on the guy on the A bomb side, and then he just left alone, and, you know, everything just falls apart for that. You know, it's hard to say that it's a good call from the Falcon side, because, you know, it's not supposed to give you a round win, but it's at least supposed to give you a little bit of economy damage. But it turns into a win, and, you know, also create some of the momentum that Aurora used to scrap some rounds.
Details also, Lake gets tagged, right?
Yep.
He's the one with the M4 and JBA is the one with the MP9, so JBA is playing close tunnels. Maybe you can swap those guns and then swap positions, right? Like, if you're going to do that, Voxic probably knew he tagged them, so he's just like, all right, like, we can go towards there. And it was a little bit unfortunate the way it happened to M80, but, you know, it's not completely random.
Yeah, and again, front runners, Zantares. People sometimes ask why, you know, it's on land, where's he at? Or I guess they used to ask. They probably don't ask that as much anymore. Interestingly enough, for him to fitting into this Aurora lineup as it's come together, who is that side piece for him to lean on whenever maybe he doesn't hit a shot?
I would have to ask him, Trace. I'm not gonna go into
Look,
that.
Don't get too grim with it.
I see a ring on his finger. Nice one. I see what you did there. But yeah, Zantares, honestly, this is gonna sound maybe weird, but he has a lot to prove. And I think he has to earn his spot on this roster long term in a way, right? Like, because he's had his, you know, I think we're also just a little bit stuck in Zantares, like, of all, and he was really, like, bringing it, and then he had a ton of output. Like, that hasn't necessarily been the case in the last year and a half, right? And especially in big games that Aurora would go to the playoffs and then lose, like, his level would drop off significantly. So now that you're talking about any English-speaking player is open to you as an organization, well, there's a lot of guys out there that can frag on a rifle that, you know, could be an upgrade if he doesn't step up.
It's even down to the debate about, is he even the best Turkish player anymore? Like,
no.
Whitehead is there, right?
Yeah.
I'd give him that, you know, that bounty back.
And I'd say Wicadia forever. That's pretty much where I'm at on the whole thing. I'm also at round 15. I'm talking about a short fight. Swish with the long control, but Slacks misses a smoke and it all falls apart.
Yeah, it's the first gun round, right? And M80 won the first pistol, lost the eco, lost the second pistol. So it's really important. They get the trade here. They understand the setup, right? That's going to activate Swisher on long, knowing no one's there. All right, they're rotating over. It's a 4v4 situation. They're going to be able to find Kicksan on side. This is a tough spot for Aurora because they don't have short control or long. So now they're kind of stuck, and Slacks with the smoke, it's not going to cover everything. And, you know, it's another detail in this round, right? Now they cannot cross. They're trying to figure it out. They're bringing over JBA from short, but this is really what enables Aurora to come back into the round. Voxy gets a kill and a headshot. Vicadia gets the second, and then him and Jimmy are able to close it out in a 2v1 against a low HP Sack. So this is going to be a recurring theme in this analysis, right? Where it's just like, you need to be hitting your smokes, as simple as that, right? Like you will basically have side control, you just need to cross over, plant the bomb, and it's an easy round, but one missed smoke and everything goes sideways.
And to me, there's two things to this given round. One is the thing that we talked about, as you mentioned, Janko, like the protocols there for Falcons, right? In the beginning of the round. But as soon as they fall out of that setup and they have to figure out something on the fly, they need to read the situation mid-round. I mean, at this point, they needed to get cat control a little bit faster. The B players maybe need to push down mid to, alleviate some of that pressure that's already put on them. But then turn into M80, when they have that much space, both long and short, they should be winning it, right?
Yeah, let's also push a little bit past that. Round 21, we talk about having the right protocols, but there's also a level of proactivity that has to happen.
Listen, M8 is making a comeback. Maybe they can do it. It looks like a good call, right? I don't know about Kerrigan's KD, but that guy definitely has cultural impact because that's what the KD goes for, right? Like the early sort of, he throws the smoke, asks for a flash, wants to kill the planner, and he does that, and it's really important because now it extends the round. The casters were talking about the utility, a lot of it gets wasted. Great job of swapping guns with Zantares and a flash. Come would have been much safer to just save and sort of go into the next one, but yeah, they did a great job. This is not easy to do, like all this coordination in the retake, first the fast play, then swapping guns, doing all of that stuff. So that was a really good round for Aurora.
If you're M80 in that situation, do you immediately go for the plant again?
I think you should. I think it's the chaos, right? And it's always about, I used to say this to my team, if we get like B like this, don't be pulling out nades. Just have your guns out, right? Because because that's the easiest way to lose a round on B is to a fast retake, right? And this wasn't necessarily a fast retake, but it's this one kill that solo made them nervous enough, and then people are double smoking, they're wasting all that utility that they actually had in store for themselves.
Yeah, I just want to touch on Jimfed as well because I think, he's an interesting prospect when it comes to this Aurora team, and sure, maybe at least coming into the game and throughout the majority of it, he was putting up the numbers. He was just overtaken by Voxic and Santaris in the end, but he's an important piece. He's also the most experienced with his time in Mouse, but also I think it's interesting to see in also Ash's world, like what can he do to bring Jimmy back to where he once when he joined inside of Mouse. So, that's a prospect that I'm very excited to see.
And what can Aurora do with a CT-sided start on Inferno? That'll be the question, but we'll get our answer after this. We go to a quick break so that we can come back and get things right back off where we started here. It is an elimination game. We are at the Esports World Cup, and it's live. Let me tell you what, down here in Paris, that's where you should be. We'll be right back after this.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
close corners, not getting the fights he's looking for. There's the barrel, there's the kill. 5-7 out next. Looking for a second challenge. Wrinkle can't get it, so it's got to be Heavy God, and you rely upon him in situations like this. But he can't get to it because the grenade over the top from Favin. It was not planted for him, but he had the right tool for the job. And Big get this one into overtime.
Oh, a miraculous round win when they'd been struggling so much, but boy, did they get given some gifts. The Hunter push, fine, it's the tactic you called, but the Nerds getting pulled into the red room play, walking into the off of Wrinkle. Ratsumi of Grix. Big has just sat here on the map waiting for the response, and the fact they almost fought back. They almost. But it's Favin, who else? The man who's been having incredible impact for Big in both maps in the series thus far.
Big survive the total collapse. They stay in the game. Nerds again, taking heavy damage, 38 HP right off the get-go. Hunter and Nerds trying to get back in towards this A site. I have to play a little bit more passive. They were bitten a little bit too hard in that last round.
And they've had a lot of more aggressive defenses, right? Opening up of the round, Wrinkle's been close up with the AWP a number of times. So a different look, especially with no op at the bomb site whatsoever. Hunter going to be playing default, Nerds and Donut will drop delay utility and turn to help out Hunter when this hit comes in. But with low HP, there's not a whole lot he can provide.
You feel caged right now if you're Big behind that fire. Your smokes have gone in and you really wanted to move forward at an earlier timing, but here they go. Trying to get past Nerds and Playmath and taps and cut right through the defense. Nothing done from G2.
Well, Heavy God's going to slide through, try and create the opportunity, the chance, but oh, it's such a low percentage. Good find, can't get a second. Favin puts him down. And Madison Wrinkle far away. This retake is not going to happen.
Oh, Big finding a way back into the game fully now then. Money's no longer a problem here in overtime. They get the full buys back. And we now look over towards Hunter and
this ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
Welcome back, the Esports World Cup for 2026. We're in Group A, lower bracket, and one of these teams is going home. Aurora managing to pick up their map pick, Dust 2. I've got Sponge in the building, who watches a lot of Counter-Strike, loves Counter-Strike. Didn't necessarily love what he was seeing at all times.